What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Saturday morning live stream. We're doing it. It used to be cartoons when I was a kid. Now it's VFX. So, I mean, I don't know what y'all watched as kids on Saturday morning, but it was usually cartoons for me. It's good to be here. It's a very, very special stream. It's like a double special stream. We're going to be joined by Jonathan Winbush here in 2 seconds. And we're creating stuff for the Looking Glass. We're going to be doing a bunch of holographic art. We're going to be using Unreal Engine 5 and just experimenting with all the cool stuff that we can create and see through this magical Looking Glass portrait box. And I'll talk about that in just a second. But first, let's get down to business. Winbush, dude, what is up, man?
What up? What up? What's good?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Happy to be here, as always. You know, how's everything on your end?
Good, man. Very good. You know, we just set up for the stream. We got all the cameras connected. We got all the mics connected. We got all of our displays set up, so we're ready to go. Cool. I really appreciate you joining me, man. It's been a long time coming. It has been a long time coming.
Yeah, I know we've talked about this since Camp MoGraph last year, so it's definitely you know, time flies. You know, we both busy, you know, working, putting together tutorials, stuff like that. So glad that we were finally able to align and create something dope today.
Yeah, man, agreed. So it'll be sweet. Like, I'm just excited to hop in here and just experiment. We got the sandbox today, so we're just gonna have some fun and just like mess around and create some cool stuff for the glass. So let's see. Y'all are probably wondering what the heck is this Looking Glass. So let me they're the sponsor of today's video if y'all haven't figured it out by now. So let me run a little thing for you and show you guys just a little bit on what the Looking Glass is, and then me and Winbush, we're gonna hop in and start creating stuff for it. So back in 2 seconds, stay seated. Is a holographic display. It's called the Portrait, and it's one of the 3 displays made by Looking Glass Factory, the leader in holographic solutions. The Looking Glass Portrait shows images and videos in true 3D to multiple people at once without glasses and without camera tracking. It's like having a window into another world right on your desk. You can shoot in portrait mode on your phone and display those immediately right on the Looking Glass Portrait because they come with a Z-depth pass built in. For other images, you can run those through Looking Glass's 2D to 3D conversion software. And to view your 3D art with the best results, you can use their plugin for Blender, Unreal Engine, or Unity to capture your scene from a bunch of different angles, which exports a quilt image to be read on the glass. This way, refraction and reflection will shift and adjust based on the angle that you're looking at the glass from. It's super cool. You can also display your 3D viewport on the glass, making small, quick adjustments super easy. So if you're trying to view the worlds and art that you create in 3D for real with your own eyeballs, then click the link in the description to get $40 off your Looking Glass Portrait. Or if you're just curious what's possible with the Looking Glass, check out their Discord community in the description below, where you can download other artists' holographic art and get inspired to create your own. All right, so this thing really is crazy. Like, it, you know, I hate to say, oh, you gotta see it to believe it. It's amazing. In person is absolutely incredible. The fact that you have this little box sitting by your desk, and you can look into any 3D world you want, any 3D world you can create, any picture you want to throw in. It's so cool to look at it, and it is pretty unbelievable. So yeah. I definitely check out that link if you guys have a moment, and see for yourself. Also, all the stuff that that Winbush and I create today on the stream, I'm gonna upload all that stuff as a little folder for you guys to download if you already have a Looking Glass, so you can experience all the art we create on the stream for yourself, for real. Who do we got in the chat? Arturo, what's up, dude? Yo, good to see you, man. I
was going to say too, they should look in the Discord because there's a homebrew community behind the Looking Glass. Like, someone actually put like a Nintendo emulator in there, and they were playing like Super Mario Brothers like as a hologram. So it's not just art. Like there's a Raspberry Pi in there, right? So there's a little computer in there. You could do some really, really dope stuff with this.
Jeez. Yeah, it's crazy because
it's crazy.
On their Discord, right, they have whole community, like you said, and everyone's putting out stuff constantly. It's a really cool way to like see what is possible on this thing, because I'm like, okay, I just got to get my art on it. That's the first thing. I get my art on it, and then from there it's like, oh shoot, like you can do so much more with this thing. It's interactive and everything. It's pretty nuts. But Winbush, hey man, how was NAB?
It was dope. A lot of fun. Definitely great to be in front of, you know, in real life, in front of other artists and the audience and stuff like that. So it was it just went by super fast. Like it was like a week long. I spoke at the Maxon booth. I did like our presentation live stream there. I did 2 presentations with Epic Games on the NAB main stage. So it was a lot of fun just getting back into it, doing public talking, because that's where I feel like I have my most fun, right? Like, you know, doing stuff like this is cool, but I love interacting with the audience and just being out there and seeing you guys, you know?
Absolutely, man. It's a whole different energy, you know, like,
yeah,
even if like, I know we're talking over Discord right now, and if we were together, it'd be a different energy, you know? If the audience, if it was a live setting, it'd be a different energy. So the more live and in person it can be, I think the better. But yeah, I'm excited to hop in with you here, guys. We got some good people in the chat. Let's just switch over here. Let's get creating.
Dope.
Alrighty. So I got the looking glass set up here. You guys are gonna see it's just on desktop view right now, but we'll get to it. We'll start making some stuff for it.
Yes. And I have mine sitting beside me here. If you can see it inside the camera, I'll be lifting it up, you know, as I'm working on stuff in here. But yeah, let's get it started. You ready to roll?
Let's do it. Yeah. What you got? That's a full on Unreal scene, huh?
Yeah, so like I like experimenting, right? So I know we had talked about, you know, we're going to create stuff on the fly, but with like on my YouTube channel, right? Like I've done a couple looking glass tutorials already. Like I made an interactive game with the Xbox controller. I remade people's $28 million hologram inside the looking glass, but that was all in Unreal Engine 4, right? And so with Unreal Engine 5, since it's properly out now, it came out a few weeks ago. We're on version 5.01. I wanted to do some experimenting with it first before I started creating something from scratch. And so the scene that I have right here was actually a charity drop that we did for children of Ukraine a couple of weeks ago, put together by Perry Cooper, where I can actually play this back. So let me see. Yeah, so if I play it, I actually did like a fluid sim inside of Cinema 4D, brought that into Unreal Engine, and you know, just like I made a kid's playroom and everything's running in real time in Unreal Engine 5.
Sick.
So I thought, since I already have this scene set up, it would be dope to see if I could just bring already made stuff into the looking glass. And so I wanted to do that live here on the stream. I haven't tested this out yet, but that's part of the fun of it, right? So
yep. Absolutely. That's a really nice scene.
To rock it out.
Sweet.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So yeah, do you want to just hop in? You want to show them how it's done?
Yeah. So let me zoom back out here, and let me actually hide my camera like so. So this is my full scene right here, right? Like the background is actually just a shot HDR. I have a lot of mega skins stuff in here. I have some graffiti and stuff on the table. So pretty simple scene. I think these objects were built with nanite, if I remember right.
Yeah.
But to get started, and I might need your assistance on this part with the nanite stuff, but let me bring in the HoloLens camera. So I believe it's under all classes, right?
Yeah, if you go to here, yeah, on the left side, you bring in the holo.
There we go.
Blue box.
So we got holo plate capture right here. I'm gonna come down to my lower right hand side. Let's drag this up. I like to zero it out just so it's in the center here, like so.
Hey Winbush, real quick, are you able to share your screen with me, or would that? Let's see, Soto, could he screen share his scene or no?
I am, but my Discord is on my iPad, so
I got you here.
Yeah,
I got you here.
What we're saying.
I can see you.
You got me?
I can see you.
Okay, yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I have my HoloLens camera, or not HoloLens, my looking glass camera right here. I'm just gonna position it in my scene like so. Let's see. And that should be good. So I'm just gonna off the cuff, I'm just gonna send it over to my Looking Glass right here. So this button up here, you can actually see the Looking Glass logo. I'm gonna click on this, and oh yeah, so it actually does just show up right inside the Looking Glass. If you guys can see that right there, it actually is in my Looking Glass.
Can you go a little closer towards your head?
Yeah, so can you see it there? Oh,
yeah.
There you go.
Sweet.
Yeah, no, I got like cables all over the place with the setup here, but yeah, I mean, that's dope. Let me actually hit play and see what it looks like when we're playing on here.
I'd be surprised if the frame rate was good.
Yeah, I mean, it's decent. It looks like stop motion, right?
Definitely.
So...
yeah, I found that the live view is good for kind of running through tests, seeing how your lighting works, seeing how the frame works. Then you can export out you know, like a little animation or something. So you can mess with everything. Right. You mess with field of view. You can mess with basically those little white brackets will control where the focus is and what it's looking at. And by the way, for all of you guys who are like, for the very few of you who probably have a Looking Glass at this point, I have links in the description for the plugins for everything. Even Cinema 4D. There's a user-made one by Russ Etheridge, I think his name is. So that's in the description as well for C4D. There's not an official one out, but there's a big community around it. So, and yeah, I'm gonna start figuring something out while Winbush is doing his thing. I'm gonna start building stuff too because I got some ideas I wanna get into.
Yeah, so I mean, this is working out pretty well. Like I'm looking at it through my Looking Glass right now, and yeah, I mean, it's going to need a little TLC, but it's dope to see that, you know, it could work right out the box. Like it was pretty simple to set up, you know.
Absolutely. Chat, what's up? What's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
I'm actually I'm gonna close this out. I'm gonna start a fresh scene just like you are. So let me open up Epic Games Launcher. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. You know, that's what this is all about.
Yeah, if you could at us in the chat, that'll be a lot easier to see. That definitely helps. Pipoxo, I have not tried modeling tools in Unreal. I know, was that a new thing in 5, Winbush?
They actually added that in 4.27.
Okay.
But it was like very, very early and rudimentary back then. But in 5, they actually, with this latest update, they really went in on it. So it's actually usable now. Like before, it's just simple shapes and everything. But now, yeah, it's pretty legit, especially for like gray boxing and stuff like that. Like if you're into gray boxing your scene out first, you know, with simple geometry, just trying to get your composite together and everything, and then you start polishing it, you know, bringing in your CG models and your kit bashing and stuff like that is really good for that type of stuff. Like back when I used to use Unity, that's how I used to actually operate. Like I would build up my scene in Cinema 4D, just like simple squares and rectangles and triangles, just really trying to work on the composition of the scene first. Then I would bring that into Unity and actually make like, you know, like first person interactive levels and stuff like that. So that was all built into Unity, and it's really cool to see that we're starting to get that into Unreal Engine now.
Nice. Yeah, I've never heard the gray box term. I had to call it block out, but I guess I just made that up. So there's probably the proper term, but it's cool to hear that you do that too.
You know, it's funny because when I was learning Unreal Engine, right, especially being a motion graphics artist, like back then, this is like 2019, like there was no motion graphics artists using Unreal, right? And so the way that I learned it, I actually started, you know, watching the game developers on Twitch and interacting with the game developers. Nice. So I picked up a lot of their terms, and that was something that they will often talk about is gray boxing out the level and then building it out. But yeah, that's where, so if I use any type of lingo like that, it's more than likely because I've been just talking to game developers for the past couple of years, you know, trying to figure all this stuff out. So I think I'm going to build out a landscape first. So I'm going to open up World Creator. I'm not sure if you're familiar with World Creator at all.
Totally. Oh, I just crashed.
Yeah, so, oh no, did you?
Yeah, it's going to happen. I'm not worried. Yeah, World
Yeah,
Creator is
all right,
legit. Did they come out with 3 yet, or are they still on 2?
They came out with 3, but I haven't, like, you know, I've been like all over the place, so I haven't had a chance to really dive into 3.
Yeah.
And so like I'm more familiar with 2 right now, so it'd be faster for me to just work in this. But
Nice.
I definitely want to get into 3 at some point. I do have it, but I just haven't had a chance to experiment it all with it. Yeah, you're on my screen right now.
Yeah, I'm seeing you.
All right, cool. And actually, I don't want to do that. I'm just going to build a scene out from scratch. I was going to try to bring in data from like the Grand Canyon or something like that, but
That's crazy that we could do that. I'll just bring in the Grand Canyon real quick.
yeah, like I do that a lot for work, right? Like if I have to like be like geologically accurate with the map that I'm building out or something like that, like I'll bring in like them data from, you know, like real world applications like Grand Canyon, or I do a lot of shows that take place in Alaska, stuff like that. And so it's like I'll bring in that real world information and then I'll bring it into Real Creator, and then I could kind of like sculpt it and really fine tune it from there. And then I could bring in like a really accurate landscape of, you know, real locations and stuff, which is, it's crazy that we could do that type of stuff these days, right? I mean, when I first started doing motion graphics, this stuff was just like a pipe dream. So
yeah, wait, so where are you pulling that from? I heard of a site you can like look at top down parts of the world and get a depth map. Are you doing the same thing?
yeah, so there was a site called terrain.party in which I think it's been down for a couple of months. Like I haven't been able to pull data from it. And so what I've been using lately is this program called Dim Earth inside of Cinema 4D. Actually, I could probably just pull it up. So let me, because this is really, really dope. Like a lot of people, like I cover it on my YouTube channel, but a lot of people still don't really know about it. And it's really good if you want to bring in, you know, like terrains from anywhere in the world. Like basically all I have to do is like give it a location that I want, you know, like the Grand Canyon, and then it will pull in the satellite data from, I want to say like Google Maps or something like that, and it will build it all out inside of Cinema 4D, which is really, really crazy. And then from there you can actually texture it with, you know, the different map sites like Stamen or Google Earth or Bing Maps and stuff like that. So
Jeez,
pretty crazy. Yeah,
it's built into C4D. It's like a plugin of some sort.
yeah, so like I have Cinema 4D 25 opened right now. And so if you look at my top panel, I have a little button here that says Dim Earth.
Oh snap.
So if I click on Dim Earth object, there we go. So it brought in just a generic terrain right now. I'm not sure what location this is, but it's like if I want to bring in, let's say, I keep saying the Grand Canyon because I just love that topography.
Yeah,
you know, that landscape is really dope. So I'm actually just going to search Grand Canyon. Then it's going to give me 2 results here. So I got Grand Canyon, Arizona, or I could do Grand Canyon on the Nevada side. So I'll just hit go to Arizona.
Holy crap.
And there we go. So now I have the geometry of the Grand Canyon just right here. So which is
mine. I wrote that down. I'm definitely getting that. That is next level.
I will hook you up with the developer. I talk to him often because I've been using this plugin for years. Yeah, and it's just like it was a lifesaver.
Holy crap, dude, that's insane. I love it. I'm excited to see what's your idea right now. What are you going for? What are you trying to do?
So I think I might try to build a desert scene out first. Like I do have this really dope dragon that I got from the Unreal Marketplace. So I might try to create like a little desert scene to put that dragon into and see what it looks like inside the looking glass there.
Yeah.
But let me see. So this is like all the terrain of the Grand Canyon. Like you can see the crevices and everything down there.
That's ridiculous.
I'm gonna amplify the height map here. Let's say by like 500. But now we could really,
dang.
And actually that looks kind of crazy. So let me bring it to 200. And I can actually throw some terrain on here real quick, just so we can see what it's gonna look like. So if I download texture, And this will take a few moments to download here, but this is more just for an example to show you guys like what kind of terrain textures that we could get in here and stuff. But what I'm going to do is probably export this out, bring it into World Creator, make it look more like sand dunes and stuff like that, and then bring that into Unreal Engine with the terrain generator. So
nice.
At least in theory, that's what I'm going to do, right? It's all experimenting.
Absolutely.
So I'm just coming up with this off the cuff.
So I'm gonna try. So Unreal keeps crashing when I bring in Kit Bash's like full pack because they're beefy packs. I think it's probably because I'm building nanite for it, I would assume. So I'm just gonna try and like pull the ones that I only need in C4D, and I want to try and do a cool like top-down view of some buildings inside of the looking glass and see what that looks like. So that's what I'm gonna try and do. Dang, all of these would be very handy to have in Unreal. I'm gonna try this one more time without nanite.
What building pack, what Kit Bash pack is that you're using there?
That's Neo Tokyo.
Oh, so that's from Kit Bash 3D. And that's not opening for you in Unreal?
The FBX, when I drag the FBX in, and I build nanite, it gets to like 11% and crashes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if you don't build it to nanite? Because I don't know if the scene is built for that.
I'm gonna give it a shot.
Or those Kit Bashes, because that particular one is kind of old. Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it is. It is old for sure. Because I know they support all that stuff now. Like they have full Unreal support and everything.
Yeah. If you look at my screen here, like this is, I brought in map data from, let me see, this is Google Terrain. So you can actually see like where you're working at inside the terrain there. So this is all the Grand Canyon National Park there. Let's see how far we get. Yeah, so we can get back pretty far with this terrain here. So if you watch any shows, especially actually I have a show out on History Channel right now. It's called Aztec Gold, and this is how I built like all the maps for that right there. Like it takes place in the lower southwest of America, going from Mexico up through, you know, like California, Nevada, that region there and stuff like that. So yeah, this is how I built the maps out for that. So
that's so cool.
I'm actually going to export out some height data that I could bring into World Creator. So I'm gonna export out height map as a PNG, and I'll just leave it.
Dude, you're just like soloing 10. So hard right now.
I mean, this is what I do. Like, I don't know. I'm just like super nerd like that, right? So
that's awesome. That's freaking awesome.
I'm gonna save this to my desktop. And this might take a few moments to download, so I'm gonna just go back to World Creator and actually start a new project here. So don't want to save a new one. No, I'm just gonna prep this for bringing that data in. So I'm probably gonna make like a 4K terrain here. So I'm doing 4096 by 4096. Come down to custom base shape, edit shape. Then I'm going to flatten my entire terrain like so. And then I'm going to actually bring in that PNG that I just exported out from Cinema 4D. Let me see if I remember how to do this. So add area. All right, fit terrain to size. I'm going to bring up my resolution to like 4K. And then what else do I need to do? Bring these all the way out to the end like so. Cool. And let me see if my stuff actually went to my desktop yet. So, okay. Yeah, I have my height data here. And yeah, feel free. Like, I'm just talking so we don't have any dead air, but feel free to.
Oh, no, it's chill too. We got some background music. Nice. I got my stuff imported finally. Like, my loading just finished, so I'm able to start building some stuff out.
Nice. So I'm going to let this import. Let me see. Hopefully I don't get a crash now. Now it's saying not respond. Oh, there we go. There we go. So I Thought Clint jinxed me there for a minute.
Well, we trade out because I think I'm up and running too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, I'm good. It looks like I got my data in here. I think I'm trying to remember how to do this. So we're gonna raise up my height map. But no, I think I did that the wrong way. So I'm gonna remove this, add an area, and I'm going to make it fit my terrain. Lock it off. How's your stuff coming in? You're smooth now?
I'm on to the next step, so that's good. That is very good. It's all in pieces and like random pieces.
How did you bring it in? Did you just open up the
FBX
Unreal project, or yeah?
Just dropped in FBX. Yeah, let's see if I just.
What's that? Oh, it's huge.
Woo!
You all right?
I had a minor something just happened there, but yeah, boom, we're in, son. Look at that. Wow.
Nice.
We got all these buildings. Pa! Good thing we got a limiter on this mic.
Yeah, say you blew my eardrums out.
Apologies. Yes.
Yeah. I gotta open up Photoshop. So I had like a 16K terrain that I was trying to bring into World Creator. It looks like I can only bring in 8K. So I'm just gonna go to Photoshop and
do a little
make it a little bit
trim.
smaller. Yeah, you know how it is.
Ooh, this is nice. I just want to be on top of this building. Yeah.
I mean, did you see that? Did you see the stuff that people were doing with the Matrix demo? You know, like the city scene that they have for the Matrix.
Yeah.
I forget what they call it, but the Unreal demo. So people were actually taking that and putting like Superman in there, or they're putting like Spider-Man and stuff like that. So that's what that kind of reminded me of, like a lot of crazy stuff people have been doing lately with that.
Totally. The only thing I've seen someone do is some like anamorphic test. That's it. But it's just I hadn't opened that scene up. Have you opened it?
Yeah, I tried to run it on my machine and it was just it was just too much. Like I'm on a 2080 Ti right now, right? So I get it, but I know Matt Walkman was actually telling me, he's like, if I would have compiled it as an executable and then tried to play it, that I would have had better luck trying to run it, because I was trying to run it inside the viewport, right? And that thing was just, it was just chugging.
Just
I was getting like 5 frames per second on there.
Failed to save correctly. Okay, that's not good. Oh no, your camera. Oh wait. There you go. Yeah.
Here. Oh, it's my. There you go. Yeah, so I got this at NAB. I got Unreal water bottle for my 10-mile hikes that I do on the weekend.
That's a water bottle, dude. Hold that up again. Hold that up again.
Yeah, let me see.
There we go.
Gotta hold it down.
I love it. You can tell a person based off their water bottle.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I will never go without water again on my hikes. Like I tried to, last year I was hiking and I didn't realize there was a heat wave going on out here. And like I usually, like the size water that you take, that's what I usually take. And I probably got about like 4 miles out and it was like rural desert area, you know, like up on the hills and stuff like that. And I almost like dehydrated. Like it was just crazy. You know, it got up to like 105 degrees down here and it was insane. So I'm like, I'll never go without water again, you know. So
dude,
I go like over and beyond now.
That life juice, man. What, you ever try one of those like what is it, like the water packs on the back?
You know, my son has that, but I've never done that. Like I don't know, because in my book bag when I go hiking, like I like to take food, you know, like apples and trail mix, you know, nuts and stuff like that. So I like to have a lot of room in there, and then also have like my emergency kit in case something happens, you know.
Yeah.
And so I usually just take like a ton of water bottles. I bring some Gatorade, and then I always like to bring extra water bottles too, right, in case I ever see anybody that's in distress on the hiking trails, because
Ooh.
I've come across people that have been in trouble. You know, maybe they try to push themselves too far and whatnot. So it's always good to have extra on you just in case. So
What's the
yeah,
sketchiest
yeah.
thing that's ever happened to you during a hike?
Besides almost dying from dehydration, like that one was crazy during the heat wave because I actually had vultures circling above me, which I got pictures on my phone as proof. But yeah, that was a crazy time because I'm like, damn, am I really gonna die out here in the middle of this canyon out here? So
Dang.
that was crazy. And then there's another instance where I was hiking out there in the Laguna Hills, and I had like this truck, like I was at this campsite, right? Because there was like a bathroom site out there.
Yeah.
And so I'm just sitting there at the table, and this truck rolls up. It looked like a truck like straight out of like Baywatch. Like it had like the surfboard and the buoy and stuff on the side.
Yeah.
And this guy jumps out, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you know, I'm just hiking. Why? What's up?" And they're like, "We got a distress call that somebody was hyperventilating because they forgot their what's that thing called when you have asthma? It's like that little
The inhaler
thing that like, yeah, they forgot their inhaler and they got lost out in the hills because I guess I don't know, for whatever reason they weren't in the right spot. And then I see like they go flying off, and maybe like 15 minutes later I see like a helicopter with a lift on it, and it was like lifting a person off. So I guess they found her or whatnot. But that was crazy there, you know. So
shoot.
Yeah,
Be careful out there when you go hiking.
crazy times in SoCal.
Jeez.
Yeah, I got hiking stories for days. I could go on about that, you know, all in itself.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's dangerous, man, for sure.
Yeah, you always got to be prepared when you do any type of stuff like that.
100%. We've been rock climbing a lot the last year, probably once a week ago. And before then, I mean, I've been rock climbing for a long time, but before then, me and my buddy Cliff, we would, you know, we were used to gym climbs, you know, bouldering. And multiple times we've put ourselves in this position where we like almost die, where we like climb up to a thing, and it's like doable up until a point where like it's not doable, and
Right.
we're like, shoot, man, look, if I fall, I'm gonna aim for like down there so I only break my legs. And
Oh wow.
it was like, oh shoot, like I never want to be in this position. I've been in that position twice, and it is not chill whatsoever. So I'm, you know, ropes, climb with ropes. I'm not about climbing without any ropes. And yeah, water.
So you do the freeform climb? You don't do ropes or anything like that?
Oh heck no, ropes, man, ropes all day. I got the freaking hooks and the carabiners and the, you know, all the safety stuff. I don't mess around anymore. That was when I was like gym climbing way back in the day, when I thought it was like doable, you know. So, oh, we've done this before,
Right.
and it's just not. Never again, man. Sketchy.
Yeah, I gotta get back into a lighter weight. Like I want to do rock climbing, but I think I put on so much weight during this COVID. I gotta get back down to like around 200-ish.
For sure.
I try to do stuff like that.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep doing them hikes, man. You'll be set.
Yeah, no, I'm already in a good place. I'm already back in my weightlifting routine and doing boxing and stuff like that. So
good, man. Boxing, dude. Boxing will. I have never been so winded, just from boxing. 2 minutes. What is it? 3-minute rounds? What's the rounds? I forget.
Yeah, well, depends what you're doing, but yeah, 3 minutes could be average.
Yeah, like going all out for 3 minutes is so difficult.
It's all about pacing. That's a good thing about boxing, is it teaches you how to breathe, because a lot, like, you can go all out, but you have to be smart about it, right? So if you're just going like balls to the wall and just going crazy, then you're going to wind out pretty fast. And you see that a lot with like novice fighters.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they get excited, they go out there and they just take all the wins from out their cells early.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they can't keep their defense up or anything like that. So breathing is definitely, like, breathing techniques and stuff like that is really, really important when it comes to boxing.
Absolutely, I bet, man. Oh snap, it's Evolver. What's up, dude? Shout outs to you, man. Thank you for the super chat. Keep up that workout. Absolutely, man. I did some.
Thank you, bro.
Ooh, my abs are sore from yesterday. I did this, like, there's this one video on YouTube. It's this guy, his name's Rainier, and it's this 15-minute ab workout with this dude named Rainier. And dude, he will get you. It is a difficult one, so I'm still feeling that. All right, I got
What's his name? Rainier?
Rainier, R-A-N-E-I-R or I-E-R. Yeah, he does good stuff. So I have a holoplay capture in here right now.
Let's check it out.
So basically, once you get your plugin installed, right, you should see this little button up here in the top left, and it is tiny. I recognize that. But if you just go to your settings, plugins, you're gonna search for Holo, and you want to check Holoplay. You'll restart your engine, and you'll be set. You should see that little checkbox. So there's a couple things that you want to do when you get this in here, right? So you'll see. Let me make this a little easier for you guys to see, and also, I am living on the edge because I cannot save. All right, it won't save the level, so I gotta get this Looking Glass file out before it crashes. With the holoplay capture selected, if you drop down visual, you can pump up these displays here so you can see them a little bit better. I'll do that for you guys. Bam, bam. All right, so we have the camera way up here, and it's looking down on the top of this building. And whatever is in the white is what will be in focus. So that's kind of like your focus. I'll put it like I'll put it right there, I guess. And we can make this larger. We can scale up the size to really capture the entire building. And I'm gonna do a whole like layout with this. I'm gonna, you know, I'll organize these buildings in a way that looks a little bit better than just this one. But once you have that, I can go over to this little button here, and if I should be able, I'm gonna toggle the Looking Glass real quick for you guys. Boom. This is
nice.
The jankiest camera rig setup right here. But if I hit play, bam, it'll go here, and you should be able to see. Yes, a 3D building.
Actually, the depth looks really good. You can actually see that in the camera. It's crazy.
Yeah. So if I'm gonna adjust this here to my eye a little bit more, I'm gonna work on the field of view. So I'm gonna crank the field of view. You can see how it's like. That's a good study in field of view, by the way. So the higher your field of view. So if I go, this is like a, I don't know, who knows what this is. This could be like a 50, this could be a 100 millimeter lens. It's gonna flatten the image, but if you go wide angle, it's gonna stretch it way out and make it look like a skyscraper if you go really intense with it. So we can stretch it out a little bit. It's a 3D thing we're doing here. And if I scroll down, let me show you guys really quick. If I scroll down to so you can see here. Let's see, where are we at? Post-processing. Bam, right here. If you click override depth of field, bam, then you can start messing with the depth of field settings. So I'll switch back for you guys. Bam, bam. And we can start, we can check this draw debug focus plane box, and you can start pushing where your focus will be. Let's see if we can get it like right up on this platform, like right there. Bam, so that's where the focus is. And then you can adjust, if I turn that off, you can also adjust how blurry it is too. So if I take this to 10, What would that look like? If I take it to -5, oh, it goes to 0.1 is the lowest. So this is probably the lowest we can go on the depth of field.
Yeah, it looks pretty dope.
Yeah, and then you can just have like a little building scene here. So I'm gonna max out this kind of style. I'm gonna set up a scene here so that we can get the best effect for what I'm doing right now. So that's what I'm gonna be working on. Also, one other note: if you guys are trying to use nanite with your scene, you're gonna want to check this single view mode box right up in here. That's in the holoplay capture settings. And let me stop the stream. Boom. Yeah, so it's smoother.
Yeah, I say
Single view mode. That'll make sure nanite is working properly. And yo, Mepuru got a little super chat. Says,
what's up, Mep?
oh, you know Mep?
Yeah, I actually bought one of his NFTs last year. He made a really dope Japanese scene with this this glowing cap that was like the theme throughout his series and stuff. So
nice.
Yeah, really dope work there. But yeah, glad to see he's in here. I see Wit in here as well. What up, Wit? The other one.
We got Styles Morales too. Lee, what's going on? Heck yeah, I got some friends up in the chat today. That's nice.
I see a lot of dope people in here. Turtle, met him at NAB. You got Kenza. I see Dave Mello in here. So yeah,
Kenza's in here?
Is in here.
No way.
Yep.
What's up, Kenza?
Yep.
Sweet.
So a lot of people from the game night crew in the house tonight. In fact, we got to get you back in there, man. We've been playing Smash Brothers again, and we're like, where's Clint? You know, we gotta get you back in there. I gotta get my revenge on Donkey Kong at some point. Yeah,
dude, at some point we'll see, because dude, I don't play around. I do not mess around with DK, dude. You guys, I mean, I will come back. I will be there. You just let me know.
Every Saturday night. Every Saturday night we're there.
That's tonight, son. All right. Heck yeah. Yeah. All right. Let me see if I can build out a more pleasing kind of environment. Where are you at, Winbush? What are you up to?
I'm in mega scans right now because I'm going to look for some sand that I want to build out my sand dunes with.
Cool. So
I got all my information built out in World Creator. I took my Grand Canyon terrain that I got from Cinema 4D, brought into World Creator, kind of made it my own. So it's not just a Grand Canyon. Like, I used that information and manipulated it, that's the best part about this stuff, especially being an artist in the modern digital age. We can start with something and completely make it our own and make something, completely new from it. So I did that. I'm inside of Megascan's bridge right now, which, let me actually exit this out for anybody new in Unreal Engine 5. It's actually it's integrated with Unreal now. So like in the past, you would have Bridge installed on your computer and you would have to like continuously update, every time a new iteration came out. But with Unreal Engine 5, they actually integrated Bridge into the software, which is really dope. So it's just right here where you have like this little green plus arrow. If you click on this, you'll just see Quixel Bridge, and you can also hit the marketplace from here as well, which is really dope. So I think it's cool how they're like really integrating all their acquisitions into Unreal. So it's kind of like a one-stop shop now. Like, we don't have to install several different programs, and all this stuff is like all just in one program, and you can work a lot faster that way.
Dude, I keep forgetting that it comes with Megascans now. I'm like opening up Bridge. I'm like, shoot, I gotta like, it won't let me select Unreal 5. It's just 427. What the heck? And I'm like, oh, that's because it comes with it.
No, I'm waiting for them to install or integrate Quixel Mixer.
Yep.
Because I know a lot of people don't really know the power of Mixer yet, but Mixer, like any Substance Painter out there, people out there, like Mixer is the Quixel version of that, and it's really, really intuitive. Like, I think their background was actually making Photoshop plugins back in the day, probably like a decade or more. And so like if you use Quixel Mixer, it actually feels really at home if you're a Photoshop user, because like everything is layered based, just like it is in Photoshop, opposed to how everything is kind of node based and, like in Substance. And so I've always just kind of taken more to like the Quixel Mixer workflow, but If they
Yeah,
integrate that into Unreal, that would be super dope.
because that's another thing that I really want to get into. It's at the top of my list is some sort of Substance Painter or Mixer, and I was like, okay, well, which one should I go with? And Mixer definitely seems a lot more user friendly, a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
I don't know, like I'm trying to decide like which one should I get into. Maybe Mixer because it's free and also it's easy to use. It seems simple. It looks clean.
Yeah.
So that might be my answer right there. So
I mean,
oh, go ahead.
if you don't have a Substance subscription yet, then try out Mixer. But they both have their plus and minuses, right? Like I know Substance Painter has a legacy behind it, and it's really integrated with Unreal as well. So I know my friend out there, Luis, like he's been building out a lot of his stuff in Cinema, brings it into Substance Painter, and then automatically just has his textures go over to Unreal. So it's like you can't really lose with whatever one that you're using, but it's like one's free, one is a monthly subscription. So that might come into play as well.
For sure.
So I'm just downloading my sand texture right now. I went with the highest quality, so it's going to take like another minute to probably download this. And then I am going to use this Megascans texture to basically texture out my terrain. So this is another really cool thing that I like about Unreal is, I mean, it's a game engine at heart, right? So like if you're building like open world games and stuff like that, you need really, really big landscapes, in which that's where Unreal like really thrives at, like making these huge scenes and stuff like that. So the landscape tool is really, really dope because you can make huge scenes, like as far as your eye can see, and
Yeah.
it runs at a pretty good frame rate. Yeah.
Dude, I recently saw they on Megascans they released this like tundra environment that's massive. It looks like a mile wide. I brought it in and it's ridiculous. I've never seen them release something so large like that.
There is this one guy, this was back in Unreal Engine 4. You probably saw the project. It was like a photoreal Australia.
Oh,
Sure
dude, Memories of
project
Australia? Absolutely. That's like what got me into it.
Yeah, that one was crazy. And that one was pretty massive itself. And he was able to keep up the fidelity. Like anywhere you went inside the scene, it looked photoreal. That one was pretty crazy itself.
I have yet to open that up too, man. I think I really need to do a better job of digging into the projects that inspire me and learn from those,
Yeah, it helps just at least going in there and try to backward engineer it. Like I think the one that did it for me was Pixel released a short film back in the day, and they really wanted to push the boundaries of photorealism and Unreal because the whole stigma before was like Unreal only makes like gaming looking graphics, and so Quixel went and kind of pushed the bar and showed that you can make like Hollywood photoreal type scenarios in there, and it looked really, really good. So that was kind of like my case where I'm like, okay, like this is the real deal. I can actually use this for work, and that's what really got me into it.
Heck yeah. Yeah, it took me a while to figure out like how I would specifically use it and what gap it fills for me. And I think I'm starting to figure it out. It basically allows me to, it's just the speed, it allows me to bring in whatever, build any terrain, see it in real time. It's a really cool way to create, and I really dig it. Right now though, I'm in C4D, and instead of hand placing all of these things in Unreal, I'm actually gonna clone all these buildings across a plane. And it was a technique actually that I used in an upcoming video on a certain channel that I won't be able to say much about at this point, but I'm sure you all will see it. And it actually is a really great way to just randomly place objects and get a cool little look going. So let me show you guys real quick. So I basically centered the axis at the bottom of each one of these buildings. And if I think 2 of them are going to be off. We'll see. If I select them all, I hold Control Alt, and then I pop them into a cloner. They're all going to sit in that cloner. Yeah, this is the one that went off. Which one is that? Which one is that? It has two little thingies and the little light thingies on it. This one right here. Which one? Get out of there. Bam. Okay. So I want to clone these things. I want to clone every single one of these buildings across this plane. So if I select my cloner and I know it's really tiny here, but if I set the grid to object and I set the plane as the object, it will clone all these buildings across that plane. So they're laying on their side and they're way too big. So what I'll do is hit transform. Let's first rotate them properly. So we'll go -90 on that. And then scale. I'll scale them all down to like 0.1 or something. There we go. Now instead of randomly distributing these buildings across the plane, I want to distribute them, let's see, instead of surface, I will select vertex, and then that will start to look
like you're making like a city block, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm gonna get rid of this corner one though, because it's not really the vibe right now. Let's see. This guy, block A, let's get rid of that. Bam. Back in. Also, hey, I just realized. Shout outs. Tom McNamara. What's up, dude? Thank you.
What's up, Tom?
For the super chat. Tom's excited that you're here today, Winbush.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah, I'm just watching you right now, seeing what you're
so
trying to see what your tricks are.
It feels a little.
Yeah, thank you, Tom.
Let's see. So we'll set this to render instance. Clones will set to random. That way there's not really a. Okay. We can. Oh, here's what we can do. We'll take the segments, the width segments, just cut it in half, maybe even 4, and then we'll scale these back up. And in fact, since we are on the looking glass, I'm gonna try and match that like aspect ratio. Or you know what? No, I'm just gonna scale it up a little bit more, and we can find our frame when we get into Unreal. But let's see. Yeah,
now, how do you plan on bringing that over? Are you gonna do the Datasmith, or are you plan on doing a FBX?
Datasmith, I think, right?
So, well, what version of Cinema 4D are you using? Let me ask you that.
Same as yours.
So you're using 25 or 26?
25.
Okay, because the one thing that I did notice was because, you know, like Unreal, they iterate at a fast pace. So once they went to 5.01, I noticed that the Datasmith plugin works a little bit slower now coming out of Cinema. I think they just have to do like an update or something like that.
Okay.
But talking to the guys at Capacity, they said that they're like one of the OGs for doing like Cinema 4D to Unreal type stuff. And so when I was at NAB and talking with them, they were telling me for their particular workflow, what they do a lot of now is if something isn't going to be animating, they'll export it out of Cinema 4D as an FBX file. And then they mostly only use the Datasmith plugin for stuff that's animating. And that seems to help out with that workflow there. So
okay.
That's just a tip, you know, if the Datasmith is giving you an issue, maybe try that.
Good to know. Yeah, I'll try it.
I'm back in World Creator because I want to make my dunes a little bit smaller.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on my layout here too. Evolver, yo, back again. Heck yeah. Omniverse. Yeah, got to get that Omniverse back up and running. Have you messed with Omniverse, Winbush, at all?
It's come to a point to where I can't ignore it anymore, you know, because everybody keeps talking about it. So, you know, in theory, Omniverse seemed really dope, but I was just like, it might have been too good to be true. So I was just kind of waiting and seeing, but it keeps it's making a lot of noise. Like a lot of people keep talking about it, and I'm definitely intrigued at this point, you know.
It keeps acting like it's acting right now. Might just have to use it. Might just have to.
Let me see. So I'm re-exporting out another terrain. I probably went a little bit crazy on my original one. If you look at my Unreal, you can see this doesn't look like dunes at all. I went too crazy on my height data. So
for sure. Can you mess with that in Unreal, or do you have to go back into?
You can sculpt. Like if I go to landscape here, I can actually start chiseling. Like it has these sculpting tools over here, so I can smooth it out if I wanted to, like so. Let me bring up the strength. So you can see that I could start, I mean, it's just like, you know, like a sculpting tool, right? Or I could start flattening it. But I just like going in and doing it correct from the get. So I'm probably just going to delete this and readjust. So I'm actually going to delete that. Go back over to my world creator. And I got so much going on right now. It looks like it might have froze again. Let me close out Photoshop real quick. I might just have too much stuff open. If not, I could just Control Alt Delete and start it again.
Oh wow, this is crazy.
I know. Did it pick up?
Oh, this is nuts. Okay, I think I'm just gonna overload it with buildings.
Oh, that's why. Okay, I'm gonna just restart my world creator. I see what I did.
Sounds good.
All right. I might bring in some mega scans and start kit bashing too. They had some cool stuff in there. All right, so world creator. So yeah, speaking of Omniverse, have you jumped into Omniverse at all?
No, not at all, actually. Yeah.
So the interesting thing, at least the way they were pitching it to me, was no matter what DCC or even, you know, like game engine that you're using, everybody could work on the same project at once. So like if you're working in Cinema and I'm working in Maya and we have another person working in Unreal, all remote, like everybody could work on the same file no matter what software they're using, which that's the part where I'm like, that's too good to be true. But I've been seeing people use it and it seems legit, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's something that would be perfect for these streams too, because then we could just collaborate on the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely should figure it out and try it at some point.
Absolutely. I know Evolver is all about it. He works with it pretty closely. So yeah, definitely. All right, let's see. What do you think? Do you think Unreal can handle this FBX? This is an FBX right here.
Yeah, I think so. It should be good.
Okay. All right, let's give it a shot.
I guess take it a second or two to import, but yeah, I think it should be good.
Beef. All right.
What are you thinking about texture wise for it? You going like a more stylized look with it?
Yeah. I'm not gonna try and link all these textures. No way. Not now. They're not set up. So. All right. Let's get. Where are you? Unreal. No, there it is. I have 2 copies of Unreal open and Cinema 4D. That's what's up. All right. Okay. Let's give it a shot.
All right. So now I got to open back up Photoshop. Actually, no, I don't need Photoshop. I could just bring this into Unreal. All right, so I'm gonna go back to my landscape tool. I'm I'm going to re-import my height map. Okay, so that looks a little bit better. All right, fit the data. And then I'm going to import. Let's see what kind of results we get now. Actually, I'm going to close out my Photoshop. Yeah, see, this is where my ultra wide kicks in, because I'm so used to having like so many programs opened at once.
Yeah.
I actually want to get, like, I have a 4K monitor by ASUS that's been kind of just chilling. I do want to try to maybe hook it up as like a vertical monitor, like a second monitor type thing.
Mm-hmm. Is it one of those like really nice, like color profile set ones? Yep. Oh my god, dude! Yeah, you got to get that thing up and running.
Looks like my height is still not where I want it to be. Let me see. Maybe we'll just make the adjustment, set up Unreal.
I hit it with that big old smooth brush or something.
Well, if I come in, I know it's kind of frowned upon, but if I change the scale to maybe 25, and then hit import.
Oh, got you.
Because my only issue is my height data is coming in too hot, and it's like I kind of want it to be a little bit more smooth, you know. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now let's see. Yeah, so something like that is a little bit more suffice. Those look like dunes. I could probably go a little bit higher on it. So I'm gonna hit Control Z. Let's go back. Make it maybe like 50%. Import. And that can also kit bash out the scene too. Like this is just bringing in the terrain, but then you want to kind of bring in geometry on top of that just to really, you know, like polish it out.
Of course.
So let me see where I'm at right now. Something like that doesn't look bad. Let me see what's going on with my texture here. I could probably even bring up my texture scale. I'm gonna come over here inside of my Megascans texture. Let's see, tiling. I always get this wrong, so maybe 0.1. Let me see how that looks. Ah, there we go. So now we have some nice looking sand in here. I could probably even go a little bit bigger, 0.05.
That looks nice.
So save. And especially up close, like that looks really, really dope right there.
That's great.
So let me find a good spot. Maybe somewhere around here.
Yeah, the mountains like kind of vignette and scoop up on the sides. It's nice.
Yeah, and I could even put some Megascan stuff in there as well. So let me see. I'm going to delete this atmosphere. I'm going to keep that light source in there. Actually, let me see what kind of HDRs I have. So I'm going to come over to my Adobe Bridge, come onto my content folder, right click. I'm just going to make a new folder, call it HDR. And I mean, this will work for any application. Let me actually open up Firefox, because this is something that's really dope that I feel like not enough people know about this resource. So if I go to HDRhaven.com, you probably know this one, yeah?
The best, man.
Yeah, so if they even have like textures and stuff like that too. So if you come over, oh, they must have changed it. Now it's called polyhaven.com. But if you go to HDRihaven.com, it will bring you to the site. But if you click right here, which is browse HDRs, I mean, it has a whole plethora of different HDRs in here. I mean, they have hundreds and hundreds of them, and they're all absolutely free. Like you could donate, you know, to the people if you really want to, just, you know, go and support. But let's say you want to use like this HDR right here. You just click on it. You could pick a different format. You could do HDR or EXR, or you could do up to 24K as well. Dude. Which that's overkill. But I mean, these are legit HDRs. Like I use this site all the time.
It's the best.
Pick out my HDRs for lighting and stuff. So
yeah, there's no other place to go. Let's just be honest.
Yep. So I'm actually I have a bunch downloaded already, which I have inside my Adobe Bridge, which I like looking at. Just I don't know, I like the way Bridge is laid out a lot better than File Explorer.
Oh, interesting.
So,
I never use it.
Yeah, it's nice, especially like when I used to do freelance work, right, and work at studios. A lot of times it was Mac based, and so I got used to using like their File Explorer that are on Apple computers and stuff.
Yeah.
And this really reminds me of like that, you know, like the way that like when you look at the images, they're all there, and the videos and stuff like that, and how it was able to bring in different formats for viewing. So I don't know, just it feels a lot more nicer to me than like the File Explorer. So
Nice.
I will often use that.
Hey, guess who's in the chat?
Who's that?
James.
Pixels.
Yep. What's up, James?
Gotta plug my laptop back in. My thing actually wasn't plugged in, so I think the battery died. But yeah, now what up, James? Thank you for stopping by.
Dude, my import was gonna take 25 minutes.
On that FBX?
Yes. I'm just
You
gonna
could try the Datasmith.
I'm just gonna hand place it. I'm gonna hand place it so I can get this piece done. So I have a bunch of ideas that I really want to do for this looking glass. So I want to see if I can just get them.
All right. So I got this HDR. I drag and dropped it into my Unreal inside my content browser. And so this is a tip too. Like there's two ways of doing HDRs inside of Unreal. Well, there might be more, but these are the two that I know about. So like if you come over here to where it says lights, and then you click on HDR backdrop, you can click on that and it will actually make like a physical dome inside your scene here. So just wait for that to drop in there. But that's if you actually want to like see your HDR inside your scene, right? In which I'm not sure why it froze on me, but trust me, it does. All right, there we go. So
That's good to know, because I've been
things.
trying to learn. I've been trying to get that HDR in there myself, so that's good to know for sure.
Well, check this out, because we have a dome in here, right? And so this dome is basically, it's a half dome, right? So it's a 180 dome, and you could just drag and drop your HDRs in there. So if you have like a smaller scene per se, and you could use this and you can actually see like your HDR, and it will actually light everything as well. Like I could drag this up to kind of make it look a bit nicer, but basically you're living inside the HDR and at the dome. But for like our scene right here, like if I go outside my dome, you can see it only encompasses but so much. And so, you know, if you have like a smaller scene and you want to see your HDR, that's one way to go about it. But if you have a larger scene, I'm actually going to get rid of that like we have here. I'm actually going to come over to my skylight right here. It's in my world outliner. And if I come over here, let me drag this over. Hopefully the people can see it. It might be a little bit small. But if I come over here under light, you can see that it says source type. And if I click on right here where it says SLS, you can see that we have one. It would say SLS specified cube map. So if I click on this, we can actually now drop in the HDR into like this little box here that has like a pink underline. So if I click and drag this into here, now you can see our scene is being lit by HDR. So let me actually go back, because you might not have seen that. And actually I could turn off my sunlight right there. And let me do that again. So I'm going to go to skylight, drag my HDR into the cube map, and now my scene is being lit by the HDR. And then you can actually change the light color. So I don't like using just white, you know, maybe add a little bit of tint to it just to kind of make it look a little bit more realistic. So like I'm adding a little bit of orangish brown to it, like so. And then you could come down here, you could cast shadows if you want or not, but I'm going to go down here to intensity scale, maybe start at like 0.4. Then I'm going to bring my sunlight back in, and it's kind of like going back and forth between the two, right? Just to kind of get your lighting that suffice for your scene. So I like going back and forth between those two.
Is there a way to link it with your sun? Can you have the HDRI and the sun together?
I want to say you can. I'm trying to think.
Just
I'm trying to
curious.
think of how you were able to, yeah, I know you could do it, but I'm trying to think of, because there's this guy who makes this plugin called Brushify. His name is Joe Garth.
Oh yeah.
And I took his class and he actually showed you how to do it in his class, but for the life of me, I just can't
I got you.
remember how to do it right now. But yeah, because that's his way of how he goes about it. Like he'll take his HDR, attach it to the sunlight, and have them like all rotating at once.
Yeah.
To kind of really make it more realistic looking. But
that's how I usually do it in C4D with Octane.
Yeah. Yep. Which makes a ton of sense. All right, got my laptop back up and running. What up, Jill or Will Jane in the house? I just got my chat back up. But let me see what we got inside of Megascans, because I want to add some Megascans to the scene to kind of flesh it out a little bit, because that backdrop just looks kind of boring there. So I definitely want to put something different in here. So if I come over to, I'm in my Quixel bridge. I want to come over to collections. This is another cool thing, like, or not Epic, but Quixel actually will give you specific like materials and geometry and stuff like that are inside like a specific collection, I guess you would say. So like the way the Quixel team works, like they travel the entire world taking photo scans of textures, of objects, and a lot of times like all the stuff that they shoot in one geological location, they'll pack that together so everything will be kind of I guess cohesive.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
So like if you look down here inside your collection, you can see like, okay, the Tundra pack right here. So everything inside the Tundra pack, this was all shot in one location, and then they kind of make it a collection. So if you wanted to make a scene that looked really cohesive, then you have everything in that pack that you need, you know, so you don't have to like kind of figure it out on your own, which is really dope.
Yeah, it makes things easy. Do you see that giant landscape in the Tundra pack? If you scroll up, maybe you should see like a massive landscape. It's probably in there somewhere. It has like water in it. You can see like water on it.
Oh yeah, I know this one has water.
Yes, that one. Those.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
And that water, because I actually did use this, and that water in there, it's actually reflective. Like even though it's like a photo scan, I'm not sure how they did it, but it's actually reflective water in there. So if you put it in your scene, it's actually going to reflect, you know, everything that you have in your environment.
So cool.
Yeah, like these guys don't mess around when it comes to like making the best of the best, you know, when it comes to photogrammetry assets.
Yeah. They are the kings.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a good, let's see, maybe this limestone quarry, which is actually the one that they used for the Unreal 5 demo like a year ago when they made like that fake Tomb Raider looking thing. Yeah, these are all the assets from that. So maybe I can make something dope with these assets. Actually, let me see what else we have. The canyons of Utah, that might actually, let's see what we got in here.
Hey, Winbush.
What up?
What was like the first thing that got you into 3D or visual effects or even creativity? What was the first thing?
I don't know. I think I've just always been like a gamer from heart. Like I started with like a Tandy 1000 for those that remember the old school computers with the floppy disk that had like a black screen with, you know, like the green text. And you had to, like I used to play like Dungeons and Dragons and stuff where you actually had to like print out on a dot matrix printer. And it's like the text would come up and you would have to like think, like you have to use your imagination on what's happening. Like you look back and forth between the screen and the documents that you printed out, and kind of you're playing D&D, but it's all imagination. So I think that's where like my creative, I guess, mindset kind of came from, like just always imagining stuff in my head.
Yeah.
And then like fast forward when we're actually able to make like CG graphics and bring that stuff into reality. I think that's why I was kind of really drawn to it. So it's kind of like putting the best of both worlds together, right? Like I was always a massive gamer. I was always a massive thinker. I was a tinkerer. I used to take technology, break it apart, try to reassemble it, that type of stuff.
Totally.
And so, yeah, I think it's just a whole plethora of, you know, just the stars aligning in, just me always being able to be exposed to, you know, creative stuff as a young child.
What was the first thing, like the first program you hopped into?
Print shop.
Print shop.
Way back in the day.
What is it, like a Photoshop or something?
It was like a clip art program.
Yeah.
Way before. This was probably in like the late 80s. So I was probably like 9 or 10 at the time. But yeah, it was like you would make like the program would come with like a ton of clip art. It was only black and white. You could drag and drop all your stuff into your scene. It had like type tools and stuff like that. So I used to just go in there and kind of, you know, it's like playing with Legos, right? I would just go in there, kind of play around, making goofy little scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, just being creative. So that was probably like the very first creative tool that I ever used, you know?
That's awesome. And then what was your first job? Like what was the first thing that you started getting paid for it?
My very first Hollywood job would have been Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer. I got to work on the main titles for that movie.
That was your first job as like first paid job as a 3D artist, or as 2D, even 2D?
Yeah, I went all in. That was after I graduated from, I went to the Art Institute of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And got an internship over at under Adam Sandler over there at Happy Madison. He had like a motion graphics shop of his, Happy Madison production company called Framework. And so I was working there doing motion graphics, and yeah, we had the opportunity to do the main titles for the Fantastic Four movie. So just being a huge comic book nerd, when the opportunity was there, like I begged to get on there. I'm just like, I really want to work on it.
Yeah. This
Marvel film. And I didn't even know Cinema 4D back then, right? Like when I was in art school, they taught us 3D Max, XSI, Softimage, and Maya. So I never heard of C4D until I started working in Hollywood. And at that time, they were just like, yeah, we're using Cinema 4D for this main title. Do you know it? And I wanted to work on it so bad that I kind of just lied. It was just like, yeah, I know.
That's what's up.
Who doesn't, you know? So I stayed at the studio every night till like 2 a.m, just banging it out, you know. This was back when there was no like YouTube or anything, right? Like it was all just big thick manuals. So I would read the manual at the studio in the off hours and just really try to hone in my skill set, and got good enough to where I was able to, you know, work on the main titles there and come up with some dope stuff. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
What gets you excited now? Like what's out of all the things that there are to create, there's a million things to create, there's a million programs to use. What gets you the most amped?
New technology as a whole. Sorry, my dog's going crazy. Somebody just rang a doorbell.
All good.
But yeah, just new technology as a whole, right? Like whenever I started in motion graphics, we used to do stuff like everything wasn't done in the computer, right? Like we used to take physical objects and try to manipulate real world stuff in camera and then incorporate that into motion graphics, which I feel like a lot of people don't do these days. And so like the biggest example I have is like we were trying to do like fluid simulations for a TV show. This was probably about like 2008. And I think back then the only fluid sim software we had was RealFlow, which is really slow at that time because everything was CPU based. And yeah, it's pretty new. But so we were having trouble getting the fluid sims to do what we wanted. And so basically what we had did was we got like a giant fish tank. I forget how many gallons it was, but we got a giant fish tank. We got a phantom camera so that we could shoot at like 120 frames per second. We got like all these different ink pouches and everything that we would just throw inside the fish tank, and we would shoot at like a hyper speed on the phantom camera there. and we would just film like the different ways that the ink would react inside the water, and then we brought that into After Effects and we would manipulate it, and that's basically how we got, you know, like our fluid sims and everything back then. And so
That's legit.
I feel like, yeah, I feel like a lot of that stuff is kind of missing with motion graphics artists these days, just like the willingness to really go in and experiment and play around and not be kind of tied to your computer all the time. Like just go out there and see what you can manipulate and kind of make your own.
Yeah, it's the real world element that makes, I think, that ties the CG world to the real world, obviously. And
yeah,
I started out in visual effects, and doing just pure 3D stuff is very new for me. And it's definitely, it's nice to be able to do just pure 3D, because you have to worry. Compositing is so difficult. To make it blend, it's just so darn difficult sometimes. And it's nice to just work in 3D. It feels great.
Now, what about like trying to bring like real elements into your 3D and stuff like that?
Real elements into 3D? Oh man. Well, if you're talking stock footage, if you're talking like, you know, I'll use like action VFX stuff. I'll use their like smoke or whatnot. And that is definitely helpful. Or do you mean like something like that?
Well, you were getting the photogrammetry stuff, right? Because you were starting to show me how to do a lot of photogrammetry stuff.
Yeah. I guess that's an interesting way to put it too. Photogrammetry can be considered real elements brought into 3D. I didn't actually think of that, but it makes total sense. Yeah. That stuff is really fun. I just love things when they look photoreal. That to me is just when you're able to touch it, when it's tangible, when it feels like it could be a real thing, when you create a world that was in your head but now it's out on the screen and it looks real. That's so much fun to me.
Right. Yeah, for me, like I don't know, I feel like in motion graphics especially, like we've been chasing that photoreal dragon for so long that now that we're able to obtain it, it doesn't for me personally, like it doesn't really do much for me anymore because it's so easy to obtain now. So like I like really stylized stuff, like especially like I said, you know, really big into gaming and stuff like that. So, you know, like Breath of the Wild, that type of style looks really dope to me, and some of the stuff that anime studios are incorporating with like 3D into like traditional anime 2D and stuff like that is really dope. So I really do enjoy like more stylized stuff these days.
I
That
agree.
taste always kind of changes.
Yeah, I agree, because I feel like there's a lot of photoreal art out there, and a lot of it doesn't hit the mark. I feel like it has to be like on point if it's gonna work for me. But
Right.
yeah, I feel very similar, where it's like I need some sort of stylized thing because there's just so much photoreal stuff out there. So what else are you doing new, and what else
Right.
are you bringing to the table? So agreed.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, I like anime a lot too. So I think
Yeah, me too.
I'm kind of persuaded by that style in general. You know, anytime I see anybody post something like dope anime stuff on like Instagram or Twitter that they did themselves, I'm always all about that.
Do you know Recognition?
Yeah. I know him personally.
Same. Yeah, dude, that guy is ooh-wee. So good. Kenson,
Yeah,
right?
he's legit. Yep.
Yeah, his stuff is insane.
Yeah, Kenson's legit. I love his pixel art style. Like he does pixel art stuff too. That's really, really dope.
Yep, that's kind of my favorite stuff of his, to be honest.
Yeah, because I forget what the artist's name is. There's another pixel artist. He did like the I can't think of what the game is. He does a lot of stuff for Adult Swim, so anytime you see like the Pixar stuff on Adult Swim, that's usually his stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Kenton reminds me a lot of him. Even though I can't remember his name, but yeah, those artists are super dope.
It's a style I really want to do, but I feel like I'd have to go in deep to the books and learn a lot of new stuff, which isn't a bad thing at all.
Yeah, I've asked him on how he does it, and he's explained it to me, but it's one of those things I think it's going to take some practice, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So I got this desert dragon in here. Let me see. I drop him into the scene. So I just think I don't know if I'm going to have this animate. I just want to make something that looks pretty dope here. Maybe make like a dragon cave and the sand dunes here.
Nice.
Actually, my lighting keeps going up and down for my exposure, so I'm going to add like a post-process volume in here to try to control that a little bit. So let me see. I'm going to come over here to, and your audience probably already knows, but I can ask you the same. Like, what really got you into like this field as a whole?
It was, I was always into drawing, but it was when my friend Bobby showed me how a video camera worked. I didn't know how it like cut from one image to another. And that blew my mind. So he like filmed over here, he filmed over there, and then showed me playback and it cut perfectly. I was like, wow, that blew my mind. Freaking crazy. And from there I was like, okay, well, let's film a fight scene. And then I had a bunch of airsoft guns, so he showed me Windows Movie Maker, and I realized like, oh shoot, okay, so I can film a little airsoft video, and then add the muzzle flashes per frame in, it was Macromedia Fireworks at the time, I think was the name of the.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yep.
Yeah. And then I discovered Andrew Kramer, and then it was just uphill from there, or downhill, whichever way. So that was it. I just love being able to create stuff. So I think it started early on when I wanted to draw. Also, gotta give a shout out to my boy Devon Williams. He's one of my groomsmen. He's gonna be here next week. Shout outs, man. He said Paul Robertson is the pixel artist you were talking about, Winbush.
Paul, yeah, that's it. Yep. Definitely follow him on Instagram, or at least check his stuff out, because his stuff is super legit.
That's awesome. Thanks, Devon. Appreciate that. And also Styles, what's up, dude? You found a perfect beat for the track. Heck yeah. Yeah, this guy reached out to me, Styles Morales, and he was like, man, I'm gonna write you like a little hip hop song. I'm gonna write some lines, write some bars for it. And I'm like, all right, man. I've never even imagined what that would sound like. So maybe you'll see it on the stream. Who knows? We will see. But I appreciate both you guys. Thanks for the super chats. Devon, I'm glad you're here too, man. That's awesome. Spencer. I know a couple Spencers. Is this one of the Spencers I know personally? All right, I'm trying to think. I could spend hours tweaking this. It's so hard to work and talk at the same time. It really is.
Yeah, no, I feel you, man.
I'm gonna hop into a new level.
I am just trying to make something so that I could throw it into my looking glass to check it out. So I'm feeling like this desert cavey type thing right now.
Sweet.
And to have like this desert dragon is going to be my hero for the scene right here. So the dragon is actually animated, but I don't think I want to do an animation for this. I want to just make like a nice composite
For sure.
or composition.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to tighten up my scene a little bit, add some folders in here.
Oh man, it's so weird going from navigating in Unreal to navigating in C4D. It's all feels all weird.
I would love it if Maxon would give the option of
dude,
navigating the way that Unreal does, because like once I got, I mean, especially playing video games, right? Like holding the mouse and hitting the WASD to control your navigation inside of Unreal. I mean, once you get used to it, it's hard to go back, you know, to the way like traditional DCCs operate. So
it's so just like I feel like it flows out of me as soon as I hop down. I was like, oh, this is how you do it. Oh, perfect. There's no other way to do it now.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's literally like playing a video game. Like we were trained our whole lives for this.
Yep.
And it's so quick too. Like I'm sure the audience has probably played around with it, but like if I just right click on my mouse and just start using WASD like on my keyboard, you can see I'm just like flying around my scene here like it's nothing. Like this is crazy. And we could just go over like massive terrains within moments.
Yeah, it's
so this was probably one of the most things when I discovered Unreal Engine, just like being able to just go through my environment like this, and I'm just like, man, this is crazy. Like we're able to move this fast within a viewport, because you know before with other DCCs, like sometimes your geometry or the way you have your scene built out, it would just start getting really heavy and it would be hard, you know, to move around in your scene and stuff. But it's like with this, I could throw the kitchen sink at it and still be good, you know?
Absolutely. It's creepy how well Unreal handles all this stuff.
Yeah, to the point to where I felt like I sounded like an infomercial for Epic, you know, because it's like I'm always telling people like, yo, you gotta check this out. Like this thing it's fast, it's legit, you know.
It's very exciting. Yep. All right. Can you paint with the paint tool? You can paint like objects, right?
Oh yeah, you can paint objects in there with the scatter tool.
Okay, I think I'm gonna try that.
So I can show you if you want real quick.
Does it work the same as foliage?
Yep, 100%.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna give that a shot. I'm gonna go for my second idea here. Hopefully I can get this up and running faster. All right, so let's see. You're saying if we go, what is it? Shift F3, foliage, or Shift 3, foliage.
It's Shift 3. Yeah.
Drop the foliage. Ooh, that works. Okay. Sweet.
There you go.
All right, that's great. Let's chill out on that brush size. Works the same as Photoshop. Brackets. Got you. Let's make that density a little less dense. Bam.
That was another one of my favorite tools when I discovered Unreal. Like they added it to Cinema 4D now. Like I was telling the guys over there, I'm like, guys, you got to check this out. Like I always called it like the Bob Ross tool, right? I'm just like painting in foliage, and yeah, it was just crazy how fast it was. And finally, you know, Cinema added, you know, the scatter tool to it, which works similar. But that was one of the things that I loved about Unreal, was bringing in any object, being able to just paint it onto your geometry, right? Like no matter what your geometry was, it just automatically knew what the surface was, and
yeah,
it was just really intuitive.
Yeah, super smart. Emily, hey, thank you for the super chat. You'd like to thank for the content. The tutorials help a lot with university work, and your videos keep me motivated. That's what's up. Thank you, Emily. I appreciate you. Glad I'm able to help out a little bit. That's nice. You know, we're doing what we can.
All right, while I'm waiting for this object to import the static mesh, I was just gonna look at the chat. Someone said, how does Winbush does it not get the red X on the point lights being the same 3+ times on the same radius? Yeah, well, it's Winbush for one.
Get it right, Papaxo.
Yeah, not window, but no, it's all good. I know sometimes the spell check, but it looks like my screen kind of froze up here. But whenever I click on my light, I make it a movable light, and so whenever you bring it in, it will make it like a not static. What's that middle tier? I forget which one it is, but
It's stationary.
Stationary, that's right. But once it opens back up, then you can make it movable, and that should help you right there. So yeah, let me click on my light. Yeah, so when you bring it in, it will come in as stationary or static, but you make it movable just like so, and your lights should be they should be fine. I'm going to make this a massive canyon here. I should probably start bringing stuff into the looking glass, right?
Definitely.
Seeing how it's looking. So I wanted to bring this canyon in here, try to help with some of the shadowing on my dragon there. Let me see, got my dragon. So I could probably add a little bit more light in here. Well, I guess it depends on. Actually, let me add some atmospheric fog and see how that sets the mood. Sometimes exponential height fog helps set the mood.
Always looks great.
Let's see, come down here, make it volumetric fog. There we go. Let me change my albedo a little bit. Make the fog maybe a little bit into the orangish reds, somewhere like that. Okay, I'm gonna click save, and then I'm just gonna bring it into my looking glass just to kind of see what it looks like, because it's gonna look definitely different than what's in Unreal. Actually, I should bring out my dragon just to add a little bit of depth to it. Maybe rotate him over like so. Actually, after I'm done with this scene, like I was working on a project with Method Man. I'm working on like a comic book with him right now.
Nice.
So I turned him into a CG superhero, and I did like this 3D animation instead of Unreal with him and stuff. So I'm gonna see how that looks inside the looking glass, because that one could look pretty dope. It's kind of like Method Man with a combination of like Moon Knight and Luke Cage, and he's looking over the New York City skyline and stuff.
That's awesome.
That might look actually dope inside the looking glass. So I'm going to save my scene out real quick. And then actually I need to activate the plugin, right? So I need to come down to, where we at? Edit plugins. I'm going to type in Holo.
Yeah, just the one.
Holo play. And hit restart. I'm going to allow this to restart my scene. Excuse me. So what do you got going on over there?
I'm trying to get it so the shadows from the point light, you can kind of like, as you look around the scene, you're able to like reveal other things behind. Like I'm trying to occlude other pieces here with this.
Right.
Let's see.
Do I take a full screen while I'm loading my Unreal back up?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see.
I think I need a denser mesh of these guys. Let's see. Or come to a different
I'm just working on my camera adjustment. For some reason, when I restarted Unreal, my camera popped out for a minute there.
That's all good.
Yep. Did my camera come back in?
Not yet.
I wonder if it's my Elgato. Actually, I probably got to come over. You got it?
Yeah.
Ah, perfect. Cool. Yeah, thank you. All right, cool. So I'm going to, I restarted my Unreal Engine. And now I could bring the holoplay into my scene. So I'm going to come down here to, all right, so I have this box over here right next to select mode. We have this green plus symbol. I'm going to click on this, come down here to all classes, and then I'm going to come all the way down. I'm just going to scroll down to the H's where it says holoplay capture, like so. So I'm going to click on this, bring it into my scene, just how we did it before when we initially started the stream here. And so now we have like this blue box in here. And I'm just going to actually rotate this blue box with the camera attached to it. So I have my dragon encompassing my box here. So let me see, because I don't want to get clipping by the sand. So I just want to make sure, maybe add this little rotation on here like so. And I'm actually going to play it through my looking glass, and my frame rate might drop a little bit here. Okay, so I'm just going to adjust it inside my looking glass real quick before I show camera. But the depth that I'm getting on this dragon is really dope. Oh, that looks good right there. Let me move my camera around. I'm gonna get into a good position. The lighting is a little bit different as well, so I might want to drop another light in here to light the front of his face a little bit. So yeah, I wish I had a second camera.
It's all good.
On here.
I'm about,
next time.
Yeah, I'm about done with this. I can probably show this off soon.
I'm gonna drag a light over here on his face like so, because we have some nice specular on the dragon as well. All right, let me click play again, bring it into my looking glass. Oh, that looks dope. So I'm gonna hold this up to camera. Let me see if you guys can see it. I'm trying to look on my camera as well.
Oh, yeah. That's so
So we
cool.
don't see the background as much, but the background is casting shadows on him and everything, and the light, which kind of makes him look a little bit more realistic in there. But yeah, that's looking pretty dope. The depth is pretty good on there too.
Yeah, that's really nice. The lighting works too. I think so Lumen doesn't work with the glass right now.
Yeah, how do I adjust that?
So
I forgot all about that.
yeah, I think you just need to turn Lumen off in your post-process volume, potentially. That's probably why you're not seeing what you're seeing. So I would start like one light at a time and light it with I think if you switch to, let's see.
Actually, I'm in my post-processing. I could actually switch my lighting to ray tracing, maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna change my reflections. Is it just lighting or reflections? Actually, let me
I think
do
everything.
All right, so I'm gonna do reflections to screen space. Here we go. Global illumination. I am going to do screen space. And
Yes.
let me see.
I believe so.
Whoa, that looks crazy inside the looking glass.
Yeah.
So I don't think that was the right one. Let me turn it back off. Okay, yeah, so global illumination, I'd probably want to switch this to none. Because it put like this crazy rainbow effect on there. I could probably show the camera too. So yeah, if you look right there, you can see that's what I put screen space on.
Whoa, dude, that's insane.
Yeah, so it looks like the old school holograms when you get like the Topps cards, you know, like the baseball players. But yeah, so that's not going to work. So we're going to actually I could probably go into the project settings and switch out, turn off lumen that way. So let me put my looking glass down here like so. Oh, looks like you got the super chat in there as well.
Oh, Neotex, what's up? You work in previs, postvis, you're transitioning to Unreal for a lot of work. Not a fan of Maya right now, so slow. The UE pipe is more upfront work, but so worth as a main compositor. Yeah, it's really fun. I feel like it fills a lot of fills a void that we all need as artists here. You know, it's really fun to get your stuff set up and see it in real time and work on it. So it's been a blast. It's really deep. I feel like the program itself is really steep. It's very manual, but once you get the hang of it, it's totally worth it. So, yeah, agreed. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate you very much.
I mean, I can't do a plug right here if you want. You know, I did do some stuff with mograph.com, right?
Tear it up.
Yeah, so I did a beginner's course for Unreal Engine 5. I can actually pull it up on my web browser right here. So
throw a link down in the chat too.
Where do I put the chat at? Because I'm on my computer.
Oh, maybe Soto can find it for us.
Yeah, so if you go to mograph.com and then you come over to classes, this will show you all the classes that mograph.com, like I did a Unreal Engine 4 course through them last year. It's loading up pretty slow. There we go. So it's called Creating the Unreal with Jonathan Winbush. And so this is more geared towards motion graphics artists. Like I do have a section on there on Cinema 4D to Unreal Engine, but you don't have to use Cinema 4D, right? Like I've had people that have used Blender that jumped into this course as well that said it helped out because a majority of it is done inside of Unreal Engine. So I basically take you from, you know, somebody that's never touched Unreal to people that are able to like start rendering stuff out and creating their own projects in there. It's about 10 hours worth of content. But again, this is Unreal Engine 4, but a lot of the concepts do translate over into 5. And so, yeah, anybody that wants to get started out, it's right there, you know. And then I also have a ton of stuff on my YouTube channel as well. Like I have over 300 tutorials on YouTube nuts. And stuff. And a lot of them are, you know, Unreal Engine tutorials. So
I learned a lot from you, man. Yeah, if you guys are trying to learn C4D or Unreal Engine, Winbush is the way. The first tutorial I ever found from you was the Real Flow tutorial. Your water down the stream, like that tutorial. Oh my god, dude, that thing looks so real.
That was Redshift too. Yeah.
God dang. I think
what was
your camera froze again?
Oh, it did. Wonder what is going on here. You know what? If you want to go full screen, I have another capture card that I could try out real quick.
Sounds good.
All right, cool. I'm gonna turn this camera off because I feel my cam link. It feels a little bit hot, so I wonder if it's overheating. So let me switch over to this other capture card real quick.
That sounds good.
It'll just take me 2 seconds here.
All right, let's see what this looks like on the glass. So cool. Oh man, I just love the fact that you can actually see around it. That is insane. I feel like you could definitely use like a green kind of grass material here on this thing. So let's see if we can't just hop in to Bridge and find something. No, not 3D plants. Surfaces. Get.
Okay, so I just plugged in another HDMI source. Let me see. All right,
Dude,
so
you hear that they added real displacement textures to Quixel?
No, I didn't.
They added the whole library.
Oh yeah, RDT. That's right. They bought them out.
That's nuts.
So my camera, is it up now?
I'm not sure. Soto?
Yeah, it looks
Yeah, we
like
see it.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, I use this other capture card that I have, so we should be good. Back in business. Oh, good. All right, so I think I turned off Lumen now in my scene. So let me actually try it again on my looking glass. See how that looks.
Let me know and I'll switch it over to you.
Yeah, I think I'm good now. Let me see. Yep.
That's so freaking cool.
Here we go. Yeah, we'll have to make this into a quill so we can share this out.
Yeah, do you want to export it?
Yeah, I could do that now. And then I could start up another scene here.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, no, I'll set this one off, and then I want to definitely bring Method Man into here and see how that looks.
Cool. I'll wrap this one up as you do that. I'll do one more when we switch over because it's about 12:45 now. We can both do a quick one each after we wrap these out.
I mean, do you want me to do a quill afterwards, or do you want me to walk through the process of making a quill on the live stream?
Go for it.
All right, so I'm going to add level sequence here to my scene. I'm just going to leave it here, new level sequence, nothing fancy. And that's going to bring up our sequencer. If you're not familiar with Unreal, our sequencer is basically our timeline, right? And so this is where everything that we want to render out, we're going to drag and drop into here. So, well, camera wise, right? So I'm going to drag and drop my holoplay capture into here. And actually I should probably turn it off on my looking glass like so. All right, cool. And I'm not going to animate the camera. I think I'm just going to do a still frame. So I'm actually just going to maybe go up like one frame maybe and hit my endpoint there like so. So basically I'm just going to be rendering out one frame. And then I have to, so we want to lock into main viewport. You definitely want to make sure that you have this checked on. And then over here, again, these three dots that are next to the looking glass logo, you want to come down here where it says play in quilt mode. So you want to have that selected as well. So again, lock in main viewport and play in quilt mode. And this is going to make sure that we're allowed to export out into quilt mode for our looking glass. And so right here where you see this little clipboard, I'm back inside my sequencer. We have three dots right here. I'm going to left click on it. And you can see that we have two different render types. We have the render movie queue, which is the current way of rendering. It was added in 4.26, and that's how people would normally render now, right? But we also have the legacy way, which is the older way that we used to use back in 4.25 and before. And that's the one that we want to use right there, because that's the one that we have set up with HoloPlay, and it's going to give us the correct settings that we need. So make sure you have this one that says legacy selected, and then I'm going to click back on the clipboard here, and this is going to bring up my my render movie settings. And right here where it says image output format, I'm just going to click on this, make a PNG file, and then under resolution, I want to make sure that I do 3840 by 3840. It would say portrait hires. Click on this one right here. And then I'm just going to make a new folder on my desktop here. So let me just name this one Dragon, like so. I will select that, select folder. And then, do you remember that? Well, I just use it this way, right? I don't remember that.
Oh, I got you.
Special code.
It's QS, yeah, underscore first to separate it. QS 8x6.
8x6. Okay, so under file format, at the very end, I just did underscore QS 8x6. And that, what does that do again? So that just makes sure that it frames it up for your looking glass, right?
No, so that is when you bring it into the HoloPlay Studio looking glasses software, it by default will set the right settings in the HoloPlay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now I'm going to hit capture movie. It's going to say save selected. This should just take a moment to save out here. And while it's doing that, I can actually open up HoloPlay Studio like so. Yeah, there we go. It looks like Unreal is rendering. Yeah, you can see all the dragons right there. All right, cool. So it looks like Unreal is done rendering. I'm going to come over. Let me actually take this one out. Come over to my Windows Explorer. Look for my desktop here. I'm going to go to Dragon. You can see I have my PNG file right here. I'm just going to click and drag it into my HoloPlay Studio, which is Looking Glass's their software that you can export stuff out to the Looking Glass. You can make playlists and stuff like that. So I'm going to select Quilt, Photo, and Video. I'm going to click on this, click OK. And now if I play, it should show up in my, I have to sync my playlist first. Click Accept. Syncing from computer to Looking Glass. Do not shut down or shut off, as it may corrupt.
Do you have your HDMI plugged in?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, everything's plugged in. So I'm just waiting for this to sync up.
It might be, is your light blue or white on the side of your glass?
It's blue, and I'm actually seeing, like, it's showing up in my display here and everything.
Perfect.
Okay, there we go. Sync the playlist. And there we go. So now it's inside the playlist.
That's awesome.
It's inside my Looking Glass there. So now we can actually, I can send this over to Clint, or we can upload it to the Looking Glass, to the little drop section that they have. And you guys, if you have a Looking Glass, you can view what we just created here as well, which is really dope. So we can share that off to the community.
Heck yeah. So at the end of the stream, once things wrap up, probably an hour or so after the stream, that'll be in the description for you guys. I'm going to do this little lantern scene for you, and then maybe one more. I'll probably upload some of the ones that I've done in the past. Let me actually show you really quick what I've done here.
Yeah, I'm just reopening up Unreal. I'm going to open up that Wu-Tang project I was talking about.
So this was a test that I did earlier in the week. This is just some Megascans assets, and like you can actually, it's a little bit difficult to tell, but there is a light right here that you can see. You can see like the angle of this light, and based on when you move this thing, it'll actually change the lighting. You can change the reflection and the specular as you change angles. You can look into this box. You can include the box, so it's super cool. What else do we have? What is this? Oh, we don't talk about that, right? We got Yosemite Boys. This is at my bachelor party. I just did a little 2D to 3D conversion with Looking Glass's software. You got that link in the description as well. Winbush, I got you in here.
There we go. Camp Mograph.
Yep. There's me way in the background right there.
James, Blake, Brilly, EJ.
Yeah, EJ back here. Matthias. Yeah, Beeple's back here. We got Beeple. We got freaking Ash.
Yeah, Ash Thorpe.
Yeah, this is a good time. This was a photo that we took when we were all one-wheeling together. We did this one. I just did a little 2D conversion.
That looks like a tilt shift. Like it looks.
I know.
Like it almost looks like a figurine. Like they don't look real at all. Like they look like little action figures.
I know. It's the scale. I think I was like, dude, I got to do something like that in 3D. I think that this scale really works out, where it's like a bunch of things together.
Yeah, that's cool.
I did a little 2D to 3D conversion on this render I did a while back. This was like early stream. This might have been stream number, who knows, or even if it was a stream, but that was a while ago. And then I did my first like C4D version, so you can actually see like it's not tearing. The sides aren't tearing, since it's actually 48 different rendered frames in C4D.
Yeah.
You can actually see behind the penguin's head and everything, like all the way around. It's pretty sweet. And the lights in the back change. It's tough to see because like I have reflection on the glass here, and also the camera is not the best camera, but yeah, all the reflections in the background are shifting. There's like surface imperfections on the bottom as well. So yeah, I'll be sure to include those in the description as well.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And waiting for my scene to still open up. Like it's in my project, I have like 3 different levels built into it. I forgot how big it is, so actually I could save the Method Man one as like I could render that out later. Oh, actually it's opening up now, because I was going to say I could render it out later just for us to add to the pack if you want, but looks like we are good to go.
Sweet.
So I have, and man, I don't think I worked as cleanly as I usually do, so bear with me as I try to find out what goes with what in this scene. So I think this is my sequencer here. Let me double click on this. But basically, like especially for like renders and stuff, we only build out what the camera sees, right? Like you don't have to build out like an entire city sometimes.
Yeah.
And so what I did, if I float around this scene here, you can see that this is everything that I have in my scene here. Like I have some buildings in the background. I have this little, I'm not even sure what you would call that. And then Method Man himself, he's not even walking on the plane. But if I look through my camera view, like if I just play it through, this is the animation that we did and everything. So I have him walk up, put his foot up on the ledge, and then in After Effects I actually have like the Method Man logo would come in the screen, kind of like how you do with Batman and stuff like that.
Yeah. And
so yeah, I mean everything inside my composition here is lined up to be exactly how I want it to be inside the camera, which is another tip that I learned from watching some Industrial Light and Magic, like Matte Painter stuff that I had in the background, like not background, in the back in the day when I used to think I wanted to be a matte painter. That was something that they would often emphasize, was the only stuff that really matters is the stuff that's in camera. And so you do everything in camera. Like they would make like a physical matte painting, bring that into After Effects, and then they would just start like 2.5D stacking stuff in there.
Yeah.
And it's just like only the stuff in camera is what really matters. And so that's kind of the mindset that I stuck with, throughout all these years. And, it's held up because it makes sense. Like why build out an entire world when you're going to only see so much here? And so
it makes total sense, man. That's a huge one. You save yourself so much time.
Yeah, and especially this is like pre-Unreal Engine days too, right? Like it really helped keep your scene really light, so you're able to navigate and work through it. Because if you if I build out like a massive city, I mean, it would just bog everything down, and a lot of stuff we don't even see. So I'm gonna I have to bring holoplate into the scene and restart. That's the only thing about Unreal Engine that gets me every time. It's like I try to make sure that I have all my plugins at the beginning,
Yep.
turned on, and then restart, because like restarting sometimes could just be a pain. So
What rig are you on? What's your CPU, your GPU setup?
I'm using the Threadripper 3, the 64 core one.
Nice.
And then for the GPU, I'm still back in the, well, not still in ages, but I have a 2080 Ti, which at this point is kind of old, but it still holds up, And then I have like 128 gigs worth of RAM in there as well. So
heck yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent system, I just need to get maybe like a 4090 or something in there to kind of round it out.
Absolutely, man. I went the longest time on my 2080. Probably a year and a half ago is when I first upgraded.
Right.
So that thing carried me far.
Right.
John Malcolm's wondering if you know the artist Mike Thompson.
If I know Mike Thompson?
Or do you know of Mike Thompson by chance?
If I seen his stuff, it might ring a bell. Like, I'm terrible at names, so I'm pretty sure I do, but it's one of those things, right? Like, if I seen it, I'd probably be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, totally.
But why? What's up? What's up with Mr. Thompson?
Well, I think he's saying that you guys are kind of running in similar circles, so you guys might have crossed paths at some point. He was just wondering.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. I mean, this community is, as you know, is so small, so everybody seems to know everybody.
It's great.
Some type of capacity. All right, so I got my Method Man scene in here. Let me see what it looks like in my looking glass. Oof. There's not. So I'd have to do some work to it, because the scaling of it.
Yeah, I don't know how you would how would you match the looking glass volume to your camera? Do you parent it or something?
Possibly, but I think, like, if you're looking at my blue box, it's extremely large compared to what the size of my character is. So maybe if I change the scaling down.
Yeah, I think you want to get that white ring or that white bracket to kind of just be a touch larger than your character.
Yeah, so I think that might have been my issue there, because he looked like an ant compared to like everything behind him. So
oh, for sure.
Let me see. Let me try it now. There we go. That's a lot better. So yeah, the scaling of it was the issue there. So now it's just all about camera positioning. How do you change the depth of field?
If you scroll down on the holoplay capture, you should see the post-process drop down, and then there's an override depth of field checkbox that you hit.
Okay, so okay, override depth of field.
Yeah, and then the first thing I'll do is I'll hit my draw debug focus plane, and I'll crank the first depth of field adjust setting so that it fits where I want it. And then from there, if you set your aperture depth of field strength to just like 1, you'll see it'll kind of take care of that like aliasing that happens in the background.
So what do you set your aperture depth of field to?
The strength, I set it to 1,
yeah.
And then you go up to make it to decrease the intensity, and you go down to increase the intensity, I think is how it works.
Try this. Okay, yeah, that's working. I think I need to maybe pull the camera in a little bit closer. There we go. So I'm gonna turn off my draw debug, and that actually looks pretty cool. I'm getting some aliasing in the background, it looks like.
Yeah, work your depth of field strength. See if you can get that to like 1 and drop it lower. I think will make it more intense.
Yeah, so when I drop it to 1, everything gets really blurry, but if I bring it up to like 50, everything gets sharper.
Oh, yeah. So go to like 5 or something, because I think at 10 it basically turns off at 10, I think, but it could be because your scene goes pretty deep, you know. So
there we go. So I'm gonna try 7, and I'll hold this up to the camera. Let's see.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, so I mean, I can actually see in person the details in his face. Like, it's really, really clear. Cause I did like a feather scan of Method Man in there, so I have like all his real details and everything of his face in there.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it holds up pretty well. I know my ring light is kind of reflecting off it, but
you get the idea.
Yeah, those results look pretty good. I mean, I'll make a quilt of this after the stream, and you know, anybody that has a looking glass, they could check that out as well. Absolutely.
I think if I were to start something from here, it'd be like a whole deal. So I'm thinking maybe we should call it, and then if people have questions for you, y'all drop some questions for Winbush here in the chat, if you have any questions whatsoever, and we'll take some time to answer your questions, maybe like 10 minutes or so. And
yeah, I'm good for it.
Yeah, and then Winbush will be on his way, and I will do the weekly challenge review, as we usually do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let me pull my laptop over.
Let's see, guys. Any questions for Mr. Winbush here? NAB. It's just too close to the wedding. So for those of you guys who don't know, and this kind of relates here, I'm getting married next weekend, so there will not be a stream probably for, I think I'm going to be taking almost a month off. So this will be the last one for at least 3 weeks. So I will miss y'all, and I will also be enjoying a honeymoon too. So I'll be back.
That's awesome, man. Some nice R&D. Take some time off. Some R&R.
R&R, yeah. Very excited for that, man. So that'll be cool. If you guys have questions for Winbush, if you just at pwnisher me here in the chat, that way I can see it in orange, and then I'll be able to relay. Let's see, Winbush, have you used the new VHF mesh displacement? Any tips or documentation you can? What is VHF displacement? Is that the one by no, I'm thinking of the Eidos Montreal stuff. You know,
the Eidos Montreal, that's the VDB stuff. Yeah.
Totally wasn't the question they were asking, but have you used it?
Which one? The Eidos VDB thing, or?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually did the first tutorial on it. I was working with the developer, so if you go to my YouTube channel, I go step by step on how to install it, and then how to bring in several types of VDB. So a static VDB, like for clouds. I show you how to bring in the animated VDB. We used an example from Embergen. They had like this little loopable tornado. I show you how to bring that in, and then I'll also show you how to bring in an explosion. So like if you use Embergen or any VDB packs or anything with explosions, I'll show you how to set that up as well, because it does get kind of tricky, because it is a plugin, you know, it's not officially made by Epic Games, and so the developer has been working solely on it, and he only got it to work, well, at least for the explosion, it only works with the path tracing, right? So it doesn't work in real time. You have to render it out with the path tracer. So there's some trickery there, but it's on its way. Like, he's definitely been banging at it and making some really cool stuff there.
Heck yeah, that's awesome. I love it, man. You put out tutorials so fast. You are on it. That's great.
I try to be, man. I try to be.
For those of you who want to follow Winbush, I got all of his stuff in the description. At least your YouTube channel. I'm gonna have to update it here with the Twitter and Instagram, but y'all see it. It's linked right on the bottom of the screen there. Let's see. All right, let's go through some of these questions. If you see any Winbush, go for it.
Yeah, I could check here, but that mesher thing, I didn't. I'm not even sure what that is.
Same. Mark, so you say you have some depth issues with the iPhone portrait photos on the glass. Have I run into that or have any suggestions? Yeah, I think the closer I am, like there was that one of my face. It almost looked like a flat card. That one is, I think it was because I was too close to the camera. I think it needs a little bit of distance on it. So I would say a little bit of distance would probably help you out. And you could try experimenting with the like wide angle lens or like the longer lens on your phone if you have the ability to.
Yeah. I'm trying to look. I'm trying to understand this question that came up. It says, I'm not sure if it's for me or for you. It's by Leonard. He was asking, what is your experience on live animation like you showed in the beginning? What influences the frame rate? Do you know what he's speaking of there, or?
No, live animation. Oh, previewing the animation in the looking glass. Talking about frame rate? Is there a way to increase the frame rate?
Not yet. I forget. Brian was telling us it was something that the way that Unreal Engine 5 works at the moment. So I know they're working on the plugin for that. Because I know in 4, like especially if you go to any of my tutorials, like I was running a third-person game in Unreal Live through the looking glass using the Xbox controller, and everything held up. And so I think it's just the way that the coding, you know, how different it is in 5. It might just take them a second or two to, you know, get the plugin compiled to work, you know, with better frame rates. But for now, it just looks it's kind of stop motion-y, right? But I mean, you can always just render it out, make it into a quilt, and then bring it in that way, and you should be fine.
Yeah, it's more for just like a quick preview of what your frame actually looks like, and then you can just hop back into your scene, adjust your lighting and stuff, and then run it again to see what it looks like. So yeah, they're still working on that, just because the Unreal 5 literally just came out, and I think the Looking Glass plugin came out on Thursday for Unreal 5, so it's like brand new.
Yeah, it just literally, both things just literally came out. So I noticed this with a lot of plugins, like they're still trying to figure 5 out and how to implement their plugins from 4 into 5. So it's just going to be one of those growing pain things, right? Like everything is brand new, so it's just going to take developers a little time to, you know, get their stuff acclimated for UE5.
Absolutely. We got MDK, one of our moderators here. He's asking you, what do you think of the Steam Deck?
I want one. Yeah, 100%, especially because I'm starting to see some homebrew stuff come up for it, which that's my wheelhouse. Like I said, I love technology and tinkering and taking stuff apart. So when I saw the Steam Deck initially by Valve and they had that video of them taking it apart, I'm just like, I'm all in. So I was just waiting for maybe the second batch. I didn't want to get the first batch just in case, you know, anything was botched or anything. But just seeing some of the reviews on YouTube, it looks pretty legit. And so I saw a video last night where they put a Dreamcast emulator on the Steam Deck. So Dreamcast, that's my favorite system of all time. So I'm just like, yeah, I'm all in. I gotta get one now.
Heck yeah. I remember like on the PSP, I had it all hacked out. I was playing like Super Smash Bros. I was playing Mario Kart on the PSP, and I loved that whole, like, it wasn't just what you saw, but it goes deep, you know, and I love that. So if the Steam Deck is trying to do that, then that sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think like it's not official. Like they're not, like legally, I don't think they could say like, hey, you know, break this thing apart and homebrew it and put emulators and stuff on there. But they're not leaning against it, you know, like they know. They even showed how you could install Windows 10 on there if you really wanted to. So
that's absurd.
No.
Let's see who else we got. So Rick Markley is asking, have you found a way to cut between multiple holocams?
Like they have multiple looking glasses hooked up to their one system.
I don't know. I'm trying to understand that question. Rick, if you want to put down a little bit more info for us. Let's see. Okay, Soto. Could you each recommend a good movie? What is I don't know, recent movie or show that you've been enjoying right now?
Really enjoyed, well, show-wise, Archive 81 on Netflix. Even though they just said season 2 wasn't coming, I thought season 1 was really great. So yeah, I really liked that one. And then movie-wise, I'm trying to think. Last movie we saw was Sonic 2 actually last week, and my daughter and I went to see it, which I thought was really good. So
Oh man. Okay, I heard the Sonic movies were like not bad.
they're good.
Yeah.
No, they're really good, especially for a gaming franchise. It's like they finally were able to get, whenever they use gaming IPs, they usually screw it up.
It's bad, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the Sonic storyline and lore is so like all over the place that they were able to actually make a script work in live action format. So yeah, I would suggest watching the first one if you haven't seen any of them yet, and just watch them in sequence.
Heck yeah. All right. That's what I heard. That's what Griffin from Corridor told me. He was like, dude, the Sonic movies? I was like, I never thought I would be hearing this right now. The Sonic movies. You gotta watch the Sonic movies. I'm okay. I'm down for Jim Carrey. Is he in the second one too?
Yeah, he's in both of them. Actually, they said Sonic 2 was his highest grossing movie of all time.
What?
Yeah, like it beat out all his classics, like The Mask and Ace Ventura and all that stuff. Like it doesn't hold a candle to what Sonic 2 just did in the box office. So
goodness, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean it's good, especially like Jim. You haven't seen him in a while. Well, before Sonic 1, but yeah, he definitely has a good performance in there.
That's great. I know he kind of like went off. I don't know. I've seen some videos of him going off the rocker. I don't know what was going on there, but
yeah. I mean, he even said, well, before it became a hit, right? Like during the red carpet, he said this was probably his last acting role. But I mean, that was before he saw what the box office was going to do. So I'm pretty sure he's going to come back for like a Sonic 3.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Last good thing I've seen. I was thinking about this yesterday. We're watching Barry right now. It's pretty good. But what is it called? White Lotus. That show blew me away. It's like a intense drama, kind of funny, at a Hawaiian hotel about all the people staying at the hotel, just how bad people, a bunch of bad people in one place, and you're following all these different people and they like converge. It's pretty nuts. I watched Moon Knight. That was okay.
I haven't seen it yet. I was waiting. Well, I guess the last episode just aired, right? I was kind of waiting for the whole season so I could just kind of binge it.
Oh, okay, I got you. I think I need like 2 more to go, but let's see. What else? Okay, so you're saying can you cut between different like looking glass volumes or looking glass cameras in Unreal? I don't know. I don't think so.
It's nothing that I've experimented with, but inside your sequencer, how you can have your camera cut tracks. I wonder if you have because you can edit inside of Unreal with different cameras and stuff like that, because the sequencer is essentially like a non-linear editor. So I'm wondering if you take your holoplay inside your sequencer, and if you have several of them set up, I wonder if you just edit it like you would a video and just like trim down, your camera inside the sequencer and just stack them in there. I mean, it's definitely worth trying out. Like I'm just thinking outside the box. I don't know if it's going to work, but that would be the way that I would try it.
I could see that for sure.
Yeah. You have to let us know. Make sure you come back in the comments after you try it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Do you know of a cheaper option for holo displays compared to the Looking Glass? Honestly, I do not. I like the Looking Glass to me seems like the only one that I know of, but
yeah, I don't think there's another Looking Glass type box.
As far as
out
I'm
there.
concerned, they're like the only one who's doing this right now, I think, in terms of like accessibility. I know that their 8K one is like really expensive. That's definitely for companies, but the smaller one that you guys are seeing here, I think that's the cheapest. That's definitely the cheapest one they have, and I don't know of any other company who's doing anything like this. So
yeah, I mean, there's holographic displays out there. There's a company that did do you remember the red phone from back in the day?
Yeah.
The hydro phone. Yeah, so that was like a holographic phone, right? So
there's
that company releases some stuff, and then the company that Kenza is actually working with, they have like all the NFT gallery shows and stuff. I'm not sure how they do it, but they convert like regular TVs into holographic displays. It's not like a box like the Looking Glass, but you know, if you want it, yeah, I don't know if Kenza wants to drop a link in there. I'm not sure what, I think it's called like V Gallery or something like that. I'm not even sure if it's for sale, but I'm just throwing options out there. But consumer wise, yeah, I think Looking Glass might be your bet.
Yeah. So Winbush here, before I let you go, man, is there anything that you want to talk about? Is there anything you're working on next that you can talk about, get people amped about? Yeah, I guess that is the question. There's no more. I tend to talk a lot as I'm doing right now, so I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, no, I mean, again, appreciate you having me on the live stream. If you guys could, follow me on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jonathan Winbush. I did recently receive the Epic Mega Grant. And so what Epic is doing, they are funding me in making a beginner's course for Unreal Engine 5, which I'm going to release absolutely free through my YouTube channel. So that's going to be the only way that you're going to have access to it. So just like my previous course, I'm planning on doing about 10 hours worth of content, taking an absolute noob from beginner that never opened up Unreal Engine 5 before, take you through the steps of how to, start up your first scene, get familiar with the navigation controls, and just really take the baby steps that you might need to get from A to Z, instead of like, if you go to a lot of channels now, right? Like, it's not really outlined out to help people learn, Unreal from the first steps to the last steps. Like, it's usually just random tutorials, right? So I like to streamline it, and so that people, they would have, like chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, and they know exactly where they are in case they need to go back and pick up any tips anywhere in the past there. So look for that on my YouTube channel coming soon. I'll probably be done with that in like a month or two.
Heck yeah.
And so yeah, big shout out to Epic for funding that project, because that was the biggest thing for me, right? Like, my last course, it was $240, I think, but not everybody has $240, especially coming out of the pandemic, and people in other countries where $250 might be their month income, right? So I explained that to Epic. They were 100% on board. They funded the whole project, and they were like, put out a course for free and let everybody learn Unreal. So that's my next big project that I'm currently working on now.
That's great, dude. I can't wait.
Yeah,
I cannot wait. I feel like William Fauché, he's popping off with his stuff. So it'll be cool to have someone step up and like take something from start to finish, because you are right, no one's really doing that on YouTube, not that I know of.
I mean, there's a few out there, but they might be like an hour worth of content. But like, I'm going all in, just like my last course. Like, you're gonna know Unreal by the time you finish this thing. Like, there's no questions about how to do stuff. So
good, because I need that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you right now, I need that.
Yeah.
Oh man, dude, thank you so much for joining us, man. I'll let you get about your day, but I look forward to hanging out with you more. I hope to see you at camp later this year.
Yeah, man, definitely. Yeah, we gotta hang out before that though. I mean, we're literally only an hour away, so we have to get a hike or something in,
let's get a hike. Let's bring some water. Do it safe.
Yeah, not during that heat wave, right? Like,
no, all good on that. Thanks, man. I appreciate you very much. Thank you, Winbush. I'll catch you soon, man.
All right, thank you again. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, peace out. All right, everybody. Thank you guys for hanging with us. That was really cool. Thanks to Winbush for hopping in with us and creating some stuff in Unreal. We'll have those Looking Glass files uploaded here a little bit later after I get myself a pizza. Got to get that after stream pizza. But before I close it out, guys, we got to do the weekly challenge winners. All right, so let's just jump into it, shall we? Alrighty. Let me get this full screen and see what we're doing here. All right. So the theme this week was swamp. So starting with our first, hold on, let me pop this out real quick. Let me get this over here. All right, well, whatever. This will be fine. Our first winner for the Swamp Challenge looks to be 3D Gala with a short film that they put together, which I thought was very nice. Lurking through the swamps, very nicely shot, nicely lit. I wonder is this Blender or Unreal Engine? I am unsure. But wait a second, what is that? Oh my god. The flashlight, that is some creepiness. Very, very good. Very good. It was edited well, shot well, cut well, it was lit well, and it was just darn creepy. The only thing that bugs me was as soon as the flashlight comes up and shines on the creature and turns away, I knew what was coming. So I wonder if there's like an easier, maybe like the flashlight loses batteries, it starts hitting it or something and then shines it up again. I just don't know why the person turned around. So that's a nitpick for sure. But 3D Gala, congrats to you. You got the challenge winner role this week. Hang on to it. You're doing well. Next up, we have Hamsog with this beautiful piece. My goodness. Perfectly rendered, perfectly lit, perfectly placed. The composition is off the charts. Your eye is drawn to the battle down below in the swamp because of the torches. It's the brightest part of the image. The only gripe I have, I just wish that the foreground on the left was lit a little bit. It needs to be separated from the background. I feel like they blend into each other just a touch too much. Maybe an edge light on that character, maybe a different color temperature perhaps on that character, maybe some moonlight hitting them or something, just a little something to bring them towards the camera and pull them out from that background. But I mean, everything here is just firing on all cylinders. So Hamsog, congratulations for winning the challenge winner role this week. Y'all get 15 points to the role on the Discord server, and y'all are leveling up. We got some people who have leveled up, which is really cool. Y'all got those different those tier badges, which we put out like probably a month or two ago, and it's a really cool little feature. We're very proud of it. Next up, who do we got? Edward? Yeah, Edward. Oh, not Edward. Hold on now. Ooh, it's so hard to read. What is it? Obliviart. Bam. Beautiful. The lighting and the color on this is off the charts. You also hand sculpted this character, which is so freaking cool. Bonus points to y'all for hand sculpting stuff here in this week. I love your atmospheric fog. I love your lighting and your colors. Congratulations, Obliviart, for that challenge winner role. Is looking beautiful. All right, now we got Edward. Let's see what's up. This one, yes, this one. It's super creepy. It's very well done. It's well composed. It's well lit. It's very well rendered. It looks pretty darn photoreal. I love the it's not a buoy. It's not a life raft. It's the life ring. the lifesaver, whatever, on the right. I think that's a really nice touch. I love the fact that you have your atmosphere built in like this. I think that looks great, and it's able to actually give you some depth. It separates the different layers going off into the background, so it makes it seem larger. And it's very creepy. You're about to have this encounter with this zombie thing. So it has an emotional element to it as well. So congrats, Edward, on that one. And finally, we got Ya CGMD sculpting a custom character for this challenge for this week. I love the lighting. You got a nice flashlight on the top of this guy. The moonlight as a rim light on the right side is very well done. And it illuminates the fog in the atmosphere into the background, which is great. You're also doing a really cool trick too, where you're using the fog on the bottom, kind of on the horizon line at the top of the lake, to silhouette the character, to bring them out from the background. So that's a really good way to do it. And you're crushing it here, y'all. CGMD, congratulations to you and the rest of the challenge winners this week. But that is not all, as you guys know. We got some honorable mentions to get into. Who do we got? Wondrose? Wondrose. All right, you got a nice little frog scene. I just thought this was really nice. It's well rendered. It's well lit. Your color correction looks really, really nice. It's just a solid scene. I dig it. All right, next up we got Ballsy. Yes. Yes. So this one here is really cool. I feel like you have the swamp thing on the TV. I feel like the swamp thing needs to be on the poster in front of you, because that's where my eye goes to first, is to that poster. So I get what you're doing. Of course, you're taking swamp in a different direction, but it's totally works. I just have to hunt for it. So I feel like it should be on that poster. But great job here laying out this room. It's very well detailed. It's well thought out. It's well lit. So you should be very, 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 very proud of this one. 5 points to all of the honorable mentions as well. Next up, we got Casual Night with a little short film, just 2 shots, but I thought the atmosphere, the lighting was there. You did a great, especially the shot. My goodness, that is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The thing that bugs me a little bit is the aspect ratio. You never really see a square aspect ratio. You're going for a very filmic movie-like kind of lighting. It's very dramatic. I would love to see a filmic aspect ratio. So 16:9 at least, or 1:235 for ultra widescreen. I think that'll make it feel really nice. That would be my suggestion to you. Yeah, it's well done. Good camera work, good atmosphere, good lighting. It's just the rocks on the left. They feel a little low res. Everything else feels really, really nice. Next up, we got Eloy. I love the lighting. I love the color on this. It feels very unique. It's framed nicely. It has a very nice flow to the composition. It flows bottom left, up to mid right, back to top left, and then it swoops back over. It's a nice S-curve. And the bioluminescent swamp is a really cool idea, so you should be proud. Gray on Gray is next. Beautifully lit, beautifully composed. It looks extremely photoreal. I think my only gripe with this one, oh, I will say too, really good job on the color correction. You have the light coming down on top of the house, and the right side of frame is darkened up just enough to really kind of spotlight that house. And of course, you're justifying it by the opening in the trees just above this house. My only gripe is the HDRI, or the sky that you're using, is just white to me. And I would love to see a bit more clouds, even a sunset in the background. Like, it's foggy and stormy in the foreground, but in the background you have some different kind of, some god rays perhaps, something different in the background. Yeah, maybe some birds or something. It just needs, a little bit of something. maybe someone in a boat with a lantern pulling up to their house with a dock with some lanterns. Yeah, it just needed something a little bit more, but I think your render skills are very nice here. Color correction is very nice. Jack Bowman, got you next. This one's super cool. Dig the composition. I dig the idea. The only thing that threw me was the shading on, or rather the shader on this giant. It just felt a little too waxy, too much like default material. And I think you probably could have pushed the tones a little bit more, maybe a bit more contrast or something. But I really liked what you were going for. I think it was, I like your God rays. The color is nice. The idea is nice. So congrats to you. Next up is Excel Styler. Something. Beautiful piece. Really good idea. Good color, good composition, good emotion, solid idea. The lighting is really nice. Subsurface might be a little intense. They look a little gummy. The one that threw me on this was the face. It's a real hard thing to do. You did your best. It just feels a little too fake, too much like a toy maybe. That's a hard one. To be honest, I've never done it, so I can't say too much about it, other than it just throws me a little bit. But you should be very proud of this. It looks beautiful. You lit it perfectly. You colored it perfectly. You framed it. The idea is awesome. So thumbs up to you. Lewis is next for honorable mention. Good God, this would have won if it was a swamp. It just wasn't a swamp. It's a forest with a brook and a nice little stream. Yeah, this is 10 out of 10. It just doesn't follow the prompt. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Your color, your lighting, your render quality, your composition. I want to be here right now with a pizza. Next up, Madhav Ramesh. Yeah. Master Sword Trials in Breath of the Wild. That's what this reminds me of. You did a really good job here with your lighting and your atmosphere. I think it's super solid. I love your colors too. Great scene, great character. Really good stuff. What I would have done, maybe moved your character over to the left a little bit more, made him a bit bigger. Maybe punched in with a different, you know what, it's just a good piece. It's just a really good piece. I don't really know what there is to say about it. Yeah, maybe take your character to the left a little bit more. Either put him more into a silhouette or hit him with a little spotlight. But I like the darker tones you're going with on that character. Maybe change their shirt color so they're more silhouetted. But anyway, this is a cool piece. I really dig it. I like your atmosphere and I like the style. It has some good style points to it. M Design is next. This is another cool one. Like, I felt like I could be here. I really like your silhouettes. I think you maybe could use a touch more fog on this one to kind of the trees blend into each other just a little bit too much. I feel like you could separate them from each other with a little bit more fog. But I love this world that you put together. It's frog outpost in the swamp. You got the bubbles in there and everything too. I think it's super cool. Metatrox is next. Same deal. Yeah, you got characters in this. You got a little story going on. They're going fishing or hunting for fireflies or something. I love your blue-green color. I think you could have used a little bit more contrast on this. Some darker blacks would have been nice to see. And maybe a touch more fog to bring them out. I don't know what they're being lit by. I would work on your lighting on your subject because I don't know where that light is coming from. It looks like a lantern on the front of the boat, but I don't see a lantern. They could have used an edge light, perhaps, just to bring them out a little bit more. And they almost look untextured. because they're like the same texture as the sail. I think they could have just been separated from the background a touch more with lighting, with some fog. But otherwise, I dig your scene. Andy Ren is next. Yeah, I'm a sucker for the atmosphere, man, and you are crushing it here. It rendered at a super high resolution, looks beautiful. Your fog is perfect. I want to be in this world. The thing that threw me on this one was the pose of this character. I felt like the pose is a little static. It could have used something a bit more dynamic, perhaps. Maybe a little creepier. Maybe it's hunched over. Because it's pretty darn terrifying. It just feels a little too static and too stiff for me in that pose. But your atmosphere is killer, and I love that like yellow orange glow. I think that's really nice too. It draws the eye for sure. I think it's missing a little something though. I don't know what. Because it's like you either have the glow or you don't. And if you don't, I feel like everything would blend in. With it though, I like the color. I feel like it just needs a little bit more of it somewhere around the scene. I'm not sure where, but maybe it could be some sort of light that's reflecting off of the swamp water, perhaps? Yeah, I don't know. But it's the pose. It's the pose that gets me. Otherwise, hey, congrats. I mean, it's an honorable mention, so I wanted to shout you out for that, man. Phil is next. This is a great idea. This is a really good idea. It's another one though that I feel like could use a little bit more work on the lighting to pull the foreground character out from the background. I think in motion this would totally be fine. Otherwise, some sort of edge light, some sort of rim light on this car. The background could go off into maybe a bit more darkness. It's kind of just like a washed out green right now. What else? Maybe the blue could be a touch brighter. I think it's just what you I feel okay. I think what you need is your subject to just to have more contrast. That way it pops out a little bit more from the frame and your focus is right on it. You're spot on with the blue. You got the opposite color going there. So that's nice. Or not opposite, I guess it would be secondary. I'm making stuff up at this point. Who else we got? Pranav. This one almost won. This one came close. Your lighting is incredible. The render is really, really nice. I think the tentacles need a little something. They need a bit more goo, or they need to be smoothed out a little bit more. Like I can almost see your spline, like it's a little jagged. But yeah, this one came really close to winning. So you should definitely take that to heart. Congratulations. Soulnate, we got another one here. This one is nice. I think what gets me here, like good job with the atmosphere and everything with the lighting. What gets me here is the colors. It feels like a little too dreamy, too soft for me personally. Of course, this is just coming from me. And your water almost looks red. I think it is red. I'm colorblind, but it looks red to me. So it feels like I don't want to be here. I do not want to be that dude in that boat. I just want to go home. You got some blue on the top right. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Yeah, I think this one's just the color for me. Maybe it's just because I'm colorblind, but who knows? But I dig your composition. I dig the lighting, and I dig the atmosphere, of course. Noodle-chan. This one almost won. This was a very, very, very difficult decision. It's beautiful. Like I I don't really know if I have too many notes on this, but it is beautiful. Your atmosphere is spot on. The character work is great. The design is really good. Yeah, this is like, I so wanted there to be 6 winners on this one because this would have been it. It was a very difficult decision. I had to open it up to some of the other moderators and get their opinion on it. It was just too darn close for me. Good stuff. Good stuff, Noodle. How many more do we have? 2, 3 more. Clive, we got you next here, buddy. This one's awesome. Good composition, good framing, good atmosphere, good lighting. It just feels a little empty to me. I think it needs some more foliage, some more imperfections in the water. You have a line of shrubs just going from the right to left. It needs more. It definitely needs more. Same for your background. It just looks like it needs some scattered foliage for sure. I think that would have done it for me. It needs some droopy hanging stuff from the TIE fighter. Definitely needs that. So that would be the thing. Under is next. Great scene, great idea. I think the lighting on this one is tough. Also, the character looks a bit video gamey to me. Yeah, I think it's the lighting. The character blends into the ground a lot. Your colors are cool. I dig your colors. But I think you could have popped out the characters a little bit more with your lighting. I would go back and try that. But I dig your idea. And I dig your camera angle. I dig your colors. Good stuff. Wet Dragon Killer. That is the last honorable mention. Very cool scene here. Your composition and your lighting, that's what does it for me. The reflection off of the swamp water. You got your rain, I feel it, it's visceral. It's a really nice piece. Very, very nice piece. Cool idea as well. That is it, y'all. That is it. That was a lot of honorable mentions to get through, but we did it. Congrats to the winners, congrats to the honorable mentions. We got another weekly challenge popping off on the Discord server. As always, the link is in the description. If you guys want to mess around with this looking glass, I got you $40 off with a link in the description as well. It's really, really fun to mess with. I can't wait. I'm so glad that like I was able to get into this and finally get it going, because I've had it for a while and I've been so busy. I finally was able. I've wanted to do this stream for a long time. I wanted to do a collab stream with Winbush, and this was the perfect idea because we both have them. And it's so much fun to see what you can do with this thing. So check out the link in the description if you guys want to pick one up for yourself. $40 off for you. And they also have a Discord community too, where you can post all of your stuff, all your files. You can download other artists' files too. I know I'll be posting up my stuff here, linked to this video, so if you're watching after the fact, it'll probably be there. For those of you watching live, you're gonna have to wait a little bit. I gotta get myself some food. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Thank you so much. I will hang out for the next 5 minutes with y'all and take any questions you guys might have. Really appreciate you guys hanging out to the end with me. That was a fun one. I can't wait to keep creating more stuff for this thing. It's been a blast. Arms, thank you. Thank you for the kind words. Thanks for hanging out. Rousseau, what's the name of the background music? It's Stream Beats, right? Soto? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Stream Beats. So you can just check their stuff on Spotify. I think they got a lot of good stuff. I'll see you later, Styles. Later. Kenza, I'm glad you were able to join. That's super cool. I will enjoy that pizza. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. And thank you for the wedding, kind words on the wedding. We're very excited for that. It's gonna be sweet. Let's see. Yes, I have some nice upcoming days and weeks. That is for sure. I'm very excited. Very excited. We'll take a good break. Want a little honeymoon. Come back. I'll be refreshed and ready to go. Let's see. Any other questions that you guys might have? Arturo, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, Arturo's awesome. He's my second patron ever. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, and he also got a job recently, very recently, at the Looking Glass. So it was nuts how that worked out. Freaking crazy. Well, if you guys don't have any questions, I might have to bounce because I'm getting a little hungry. I gotta export these files too for y'all. Well then, looks like I'm gonna call it. Thank you guys. Cheers to you. I will see you in probably 1 month from now. Maybe 3 weeks. Maybe 3 weeks. But definitely a month from now. So hang in there, have fun. Go to Winbush's channel, watch his stuff, pick up a Looking Glass, make some stuff for it. And I will see you guys in 3 to 4 weeks. All right. So I'll miss you. You guys have a good one. And I'll catch you soon. Have fun. Keep creative. Peace out, y'all. Later.